autistic brigade in Israel.
Oh yeah.
They work on maps. Yep, yeah. The Israeli army unit that recruits teens with autism. Many autistic soldiers who would otherwise be exempt from the military service have found a place in Unit 9900, the selective intelligence squad, where their heightened perceptual skills are an asset. Crazy. Felix Biederman's in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Takes so fucking long to get here.
Almost
from my house on an aircraft carrier.
Almost as cool as Motaz. In terms of guests, we're doing like fucking basics of wage and how value is accumulated.
I mean, like I sort of see both sides of this current dispute. Like, certainly for the longshoremen, but it's sort of like a central truth of my worldview that if you have a wage job, you should have to take one weekend every month to work for free for guys like me.
Okay.
Because who's ordering all that stuff?
True.
Me.
They don't understand. They don't understand the real plight. The plight is when your Amazon delivery of your new headset for your VR is late.
I don't. My VR headset I got directly from Valve.
Okay.
But all my flight sim equipment that is coming directly from China.
Yeah.
And so, like, what do you think is in all those shipping containers? Everything that isn't human trafficking is flight simulation equipment.
I agree.
I made this guy rich.
Yeah. He's fucking caked up. He's got unsettling vibes, like a old school labor leader who's like maybe a little bit corrupt, but also simultaneously is very cool, and I like it.
I love his glasses.
He's got those are Cartier.
Yeah, no, he's
fucking dimed out. He doesn't give a shit.
Every time there's like a labor thing and like the head union guy is like a guy like this, every like John Stossel type is like, he drives a Bentley, and it's like, you don't think that's cool? That should be like, you shouldn't have to go to college to buy Cartier frames. That's my legitimate belief.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome. He's 78?
Yeah, the profane 78-year-old leading the dock worker strike.
He looks good for 78.
He does, because he's rich.
Yeah.
He's fucking caked up, dude. That's what it is.
I don't agree with him buying a Bentley. I think like
he should have bought an F-22 instead.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't
He's shipping them. He should have done the old like the 5-finger discount.
What is it with the thing that the guy in MASH does where he sends a Jeep to himself in America, like piece by piece over his entire deployment? I mean, like Bentleys seem nice, I've been inside one once, but it's like everyone has one. Everyone who makes as much money as this guy has one, is my whole thing. And it's like, don't you want something that no one else has?
Yeah. Like an F-22.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, one less F-15 to Israel. Let this guy have it, Yeah. It's going to be used. It's either going to be bombarded with Iranian missiles that definitely didn't hit the target if you ask the Israeli government.
Yeah. That's why they're not showing it. It's illegal to show pictures because they don't want Iran to feel bad.
Yeah.
Because they missed everything.
Yeah. No, it would be really... Yeah, it would be really bad if they saw how little the hits actually hit target.
Yeah, and just as a coincidence, all our F-35s are being sent in this week for a new aux cord extension.
Well, to be fair, F-35s break quite frequently, so it could literally be for no reason. It rained a lot.
Yeah.
It rained too much.
But the most annoying thing that is not the worst thing, hard to pick a worst, but the most annoying thing they do with their military is they'll buy American planes like the F-35, F-16, F-15, and then they'll like change two things on it, and they'll be like, "This is a new plane. It's called the Adair," And it's like, fuck off. Like, it's like Jacob the jeweler, how he'll take like a Rolex and like put a bunch of like bullshit diamonds on it and be like, oh, I made it better.
Wow, Felix doing textbook anti-Semitism.
Wait, Jacob the jeweler is what? He's what, like Syrian Jewish?
He's one of those like Patrick Bet-David types.
Is he Jewish?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't think he is.
I assumed. I'm sorry if you're gonna say I'm anti-Semitic. I just always.
Okay,
but,
his name is Jacob. Like, it would be weirder if you said Johnny Dang was Jewish. The two cultures with tunnels.
Yeah.
Vietnamese and Jewish.
Yeah. That's right. Can we watch Patrick Bet-David clips? No. Also, Patrick Bet-David not Jewish.
No, yeah.
Yeah. That was
It's so weird. Like, not like the name, his whole look, it's like that's an Israeli man.
Yeah, Patrick Bet-David, yes.
Patrick Bet-David,
like the skin tight suits that he wears, like the vibes are so he is spiritually Jewish, I think. More so than fucking Tony Dokoupil or whatever the fuck his name is.
That guy, his dad was James Franco in Pineapple Express.
Wait, so what did he do? What did his dad do?
His dad was basically a successful version of weed dealers who make you watch like Zeitgeist when you're buying like $30 worth of weed. Like his dad was a weed dealer who like made enough to send whatever the fuck this guy's name is. It starts with a K. The guy who like interviewed Ta-Nehisi Coates and was like, "So you want all Jews to die, okay?"
Yeah.
This guy, well, he clearly has like a fetish or a type. He married one Jewish lady. They got divorced. She lives in Israel with his 2 kids. Then he got married to another.
Imagine getting your shit snipped for a second time, and then your wife still divorces you.
This was the second wife. The thing is, he was already medically circumcised.
Yeah. I know. I read the article.
I'm just explaining. Did you read the chat?
Yes, we read.
Okay.
We are aware, but maybe some people don't know. Ta-Nehisi Coates, the liberal intelligentsia darling Ta-Nehisi Coates, made the cardinal sin of like going to the West Bank and recognizing, oh my God, he was so wrong about Israel because they are a uniquely racist nation. Like uniquely in the sense that like there are still plenty of racist nations out there, but like historically racist in terms of the way that they currently operate.
Yeah, and just the way that it's codified and
And so when he wrote about it in his new book, of course the media was like, "Why are you doing this? Are you a terrorist?" Like immediately, the switch up is crazy. And one of the guys that did that was Tony the PP. What the fuck is his last name?
It's so it seems. I thought he was Georgian because it sounds like a Georgian last name. It's like Kapulki.
Yeah,
Kapulki.
The Kapulk. Whatever. One of those guys. But basically, what ended up happening was we found out Dokoupil. Oh, Dokoupil, like dick pill.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
So-
maybe I have some late onset dyslexia.
Yeah. Late onset dyslexia.
It happens.
So he was ripping into Ta-Nehisi Coates, and basically what ended up happening is we found out that he wrote an article about how he got an adult circumcision, like he consented to getting a second circumcision
because
as an adult.
Yeah, his weed dealer dad was like, this is like this guy was born what, like 1980? Anyone born after like I would say like the Ford administration probably. The moment you're born, if you're a guy, they just started being like, you want us to peel the skin back? And I just at a certain point, just everyone had it. And I think part of it is that like a lot of lazy dads were like, I don't want to teach my son how to fucking, clean the smegma. That's my whole thing. Like I think it's fucked up to like force it on a kid, like it's a fucked up choice to make for a kid. But then
they took it from us. They took it from both of us.
Yeah. It's like,
but for religious reasons.
I mean, I have a whole thing about it, but like, if I had a son, like obviously I would like, go, that's a fucked up choice for me to make. But then it's like, well, now I'm gonna have to like show him how to clean the foreskin, and I don't know how to do that. And like, what the fuck do I do? I have friends that are uncircumcised. Do I like take it? Do I like have them?
You can't have
me?
them. You can't have them.
I'm not asking them to do it for him. No, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. I like but like maybe I could clean my friend's dick and then describe what it was like to my son. See how complicated it is? That's how they get you. That's why it's a generational curse. You think you're going to be the one to break the chain, and then you're like, oh my fucking God, I'm going to have to clean my friend's dick at least like twice to really get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough. It's
why
hard.
That's why you just got to keep it going. In any case, that guy, how the fuck do we get to that guy? He I don't even remember.
Yeah, how the fuck did he come up?
It's really crazy because like he's like the basic CBS anchor, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, we watch a lot of news on this broadcast, and he comes up a lot. And now my life has been dramatically altered because every time he comes on screen, in my mind, I'm thinking that's the adult convert that got his shit snipped.
Yeah. Like all I'll ever be able to think about is him like taking Tylenol 3s with like a Looney Tunes style cast over his groin. It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. And he married like a very liberal. He married into a very liberal reform synagogue, and he thought, okay, reform. Like they're not even gonna yell at me about fucking bacon. I bet I don't have to do anything. And they were so hardcore on this one thing. They were like, we don't care if you got circumcised. You have to do, what's that shit in Yakuza where you have to cut a pinky off when you fuck up? It's like that for Judaism.
Yeah, they have to draw blood.
Yeah.
Like the mohel has to come in and draw blood, apparently. A Danny DeVito looking mohel. Which he wrote in the article.
Yeah, he complains about how the mohel wasn't hot, which is like, okay.
If I want to get my shit chopped off, I want the sexiest mohel in the entire tri-state area. Okay, what is this?
It's like porn where it's like, I'm not gay, but I have like a big dick in there. I'm not gay, but I don't want my mohel to be hot.
Yeah, it's fucked up. The funniest part is he didn't speak Hebrew, and it's like, bro, if you're getting your shit chopped off, perhaps you should have learned Hebrew first. You know what I mean? It's like your commitment is all over the place.
Yeah. He's like, he's not going to keep kosher, but he's going to be like, all right, you can fucking take a sword to my cock.
Like, that's literally that's the final step of the process, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's like, are there people in other religions like that where it's like, someone like a Muslim who all he does is pay like an extremely high jizya but nothing else. He doesn't do anything else. Yeah.
Nico is a revert who doesn't do any of the things. Actually, I guess a lot of these guys, Andrew Tate, Nico, all these like fucking fake Muslims.
Yeah, that's in the internet.
It wouldn't be jizya. It would be zakat, by the way, Felix. Jizya is for non-Muslims. Zakat. Yeah.
What can I say? I got woken up early today. So, jizya is what I pay.
No, that exists. Muslims who will do heroin or some shit, but not eat bacon. I mean, yeah, that's like the meme in Islam is that you can do whatever you want as long as you don't eat bacon. But that's like the opposite, because for Muslims, it's the easiest one to follow. Okay. So it's technically the opposite of getting your shit chopped off, because it's like, for Muslims, it's like pretty fucking easy to not eat pork products. And also there's like a baked in fear about it in the Islamic world in general. So they just it's much easier to avoid. That's why they drink alcohol, which is, awesome, but they don't eat fucking bacon.
I've always wondered this. Does like like wild boar is very popular now.
Is it? I don't know.
It's
Like Hamoni Barrico type shit.
Yeah, well, you remember how like bison had a big moment in like 2014?
Yeah.
Both you and I was at the peak of my like bro science gym bro stuff, and I probably heard a Rogan episode where he's like, you metabolize 99% of bison. And I just spent my entire fucking shitty paycheck on it. But the moment that bison had in 2014, I feel like wild boar, they're having that in the last few years. But is that technically like swan? Like you couldn't eat that if you were Muslim or Jewish, probably,
you can't
right?
eat any pork. Yeah.
I guess it is kind of, it's
literally
literally pork.
It's still pork. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still haram. What is this? I dated a Lebanese girl. We did the most haram shit, but if I had pork during the day, it was like a no-go zone for the day. That's crazy.
That's everyone with their religion is kind of like, I think like it shows how.
Oh, this is classic. My friend named Hasan drinks 60% alcohol, has a girl that sleeps with him for drugs, but doesn't eat gummies because it has gelatin.
Yeah. No,
yeah, exactly.
This is why all these religions truly are Abrahamic, because the thing that I think like makes Judaism like special, that I think like that non-Abrahamic religions, I think everyone does this, but not to the extent that like we did it, is have a bunch of these rules, but basically like you're constantly in arbitration with God. Where you're like, okay, I didn't fucking do any work on the Sabbath, but I smoked crack in a tunnel.
That's my favorite. It's just the concept of a Shabbos goy is so awesome.
I know a bunch of people who have like done it. It seems like a fun job. Their whole, I mean, speaking of people who like do haram or forbidden shit in the Hasid community, where like guys are religious enough to have like Shabbos goys and like do all this stuff and like go to the furthest extent of like a legalistic interpretation of like religious rules. I've also like encountered a lot of Hasidic guys who are like I don't want to say degenerates, but they really like to party.
Oh yeah.
But there's like a not as codified, but a similar aspect to it where they're like, okay, if I do this in New Jersey, it kind of doesn't count.
Oh, are you talking about the string? Like if you're outside of the boundaries of the string or something?
Yeah. There's like,
dude, Judaism is so sick. Like there's just a whole string that is in surrounding like I think it's Manhattan, right?
It's so like 6-year-old. I can do it outside of the string. It's so funny. Like it's awesome. I
bet you guys didn't know that.
I think I've told this story before, but like I had this friend in New York who was like very well off. His family was very, very rich. And he was a cool guy. He was like, he did what I think like everyone with like a father who has like kajillion fucking dollars should do, which is he was just like a photographer for like really hot women.
Yeah.
And he had this great place in Brooklyn, like this giant fucking like penthouse type place. So it was really cool. But he was also the bad thing you can do if you're very rich, which is you're the type of, at the time, I think he's evolved since then, but at the time he was like the type of liberal who's like, I don't care who you vote for. You should vote, and it should be mandatory to vote. That's my number one issue, that everyone should vote.
Compulsory voting, but with all the current hangups for voting.
Yeah. I mean, he wanted it to be easy, but he was just like, that's if we can get everyone voting, we fix everything. But he had such an earnest view of politics that I think he cultivated his friend groups to be almost like focus groups. And it was like the weirdest mix of people I've ever seen, because we were like, I was in my early to mid 20s. He was like a few years older than me. So it'd be like a couple people around my age, but then like the 62 like Dominican super for the building, like middle-aged hijabi, and then like a couple Hasids, like every group in New York you could think of was there. And one of the guys there was like one of those Hasid guys who's like, all right, I'm outside the string. It's like
Party time
to just fucking completely face a bottle of 151.
Wait, wasn't there a thing about like strippers within the Hasidic community in New York? Am I misremembering this?
Oh, there was a thing with herpes.
No, not that. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Not the circumcision thing, but like herpes going around among like Hasidic women because like husbands would come back home.
The Hasidic dive bar? No. Wait, what
is this like a strip club for Hasids specifically?
Stripper Hasid connection barred by ecstasy bust.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like an international ecstasy kingpin busted for smuggling the mind-bending pills into New York was using leggy strippers, Hasidic teens, and yarmulkes and senior citizens in New Age. No, this isn't it. Was this it? Sex strippers and cops on call. How two Orthodox Jews sparked New York's worst scandal in decades. Jewish community leaders say Jonah Recknitz and Jeremy Reichberg embarrassed the whole community. They have ties to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Reichberg is a former volunteer police chaplain who grew up in a strictly religious enclave in Brooklyn. But according to prosecutors, they are both at the center of the worst public corruption case to hit New York in decades. The cast of characters sounds like a plot from a movie, includes powerful union boss with a taste for luxury who enjoys smoking cigars. They were arrested for a clutch of high-ranking cops have been arrested or fired for allegedly taking gifts and free trips, including one to Las Vegas, where they allegedly had sex with a prostitute on a private plane. Bill de Blasio is also being investigated by the FBI.
Innocent witch hunt.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He got through.
I hate all the people who are like, oh, well, Bill de Blasio should be in prison. Do you realize that if Bill de Blasio tried to steal $1 billion, within a day, he would have a tearful press conference where he announces he's giving back half of it, and then within a week would be $4 billion in debt somehow?
Yeah.
He's not up for it. Believe me.
What is this? The Jewish matriarchs of striptease?
Oh, this is just like a weird
like,
forward article.
Yeah. No, that's not it. Anyway, whatever. Why are we talking about Hasidic Jews? I don't even know.
We started from him.
We started from this guy.
We got to Patrick Bet-David,
who is like this is the most like Long Island Italian man of all time.
He's probably
or Irish. Sorry, he's Massachusetts Irish.
He's Irish?
I think so, isn't it? His name is Harold J. Daggett.
Oh yeah. Sometimes like Italian guys will be named like Herman Brown,
Daggett,
but their last name is like truly crazy. It's changed at Ellis Island. I just like, no offense to the Irish out there. This is a 78-year-old man. When I see a 78-year-old Irish guy, or really, let's be real, like a 58-year-old Irish guy, they have like John Kerry syndrome, where their face is has a relief map type quality to it, you know? And he's very smooth.
Dude, he's killing it, dude. This is like wealthy people take care of themselves.
They do, but like wealthy Irish guys are still kind of craggy. This is not a craggy man. This is
last name is Scottish origin.
They don't want to pay anybody.
What he has to say.
It's not only this union; it's in every union in every aspect. If they keep putting machinery to take our jobs, who's going to pay the income tax? Machines are not. Who's going to pay for the military, the roads? Everything runs by taxes. Take Easy Pass. The first time they come out with Easy Pass, one lane, and cars were going through and everybody's sitting in their car and go, what's that all about? I'm going to get one of them. Today, all those union jobs are gone and it's all Easy Pass. People don't realize it. Everybody's got 3 cars, everybody got an Easy Pass on the window. And they go through like it's nothing. And they get billed in the mail. They didn't care about that union worker working in the booth. You go in a store today, it's self-checking. They don't need anybody to check out no more. Someone has to get into Congress.
Okay, the self-checkout is a little bit better of an argument than Easy Pass because that one you're kind of that's an own goal right there, buddy.
Yeah, I like mostly agree with this kind of stuff, but like the Easy Pass is probably the worst case you could have been.
Yeah, it's like pure efficiency, like probably lowers like traffic density a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of not the best. Self-checkout does make sense because it sucks. It also literally ends up like, creating conditions for people to steal shit anyway. But obviously they make that calculation and it's still cheaper overall for them to not hire people.
Self-checkout is, it's the store robbing time from you, basically.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm totally against it. I think he should have started with that.
Yeah, that's a much stronger argument.
Yeah. But
because the entire point of the problem is that like they shouldn't have done self-checkout. They should have hired more cashiers. But the store doesn't want to do that. And then they make it harder and harder. And then you fucking wait in the line. And then they're like, oh, how about we just automate this process and only hire one person to control it every now and then?
Yeah. There's also an argument to be made that like operating at maximum efficiency for an economy is, if you're like, constantly inventing stuff or industrializing or whatever, there, see the value in it. But our economy is just built on people selling shitty shit to each other. We're a consumer economy.
Yeah.
Efficiency does not benefit us in quite the same way as like, a classical three-piece suit industrialist guy economy.
To say, whoa, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT and all these places. Yeah, they're all brilliant. But what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their...
Okay, his attitude towards automation is exactly a 78-year-old man's opinion would be on automation. Like,
have jobs, but are increasingly precarious and have less and less protections. You see those people who have fallen through the cracks, and it is a very visible warning to you not to fuck up or try anything.
Yeah. It inherently does, Hasan. That's how it works. Dude, what are you... Oh, my God. Dude... No, you're just claiming that it does automatically.
No.
Okay? It's not supposed to. Or you don't have to do that. It's just that companies choose to use automation in that direction. Okay? Because that's their ultimate goal is to generate higher profits. That's it. That's it.
I'm just caught up on him saying he loves self-checkout. That is a fucked up person. It's a maniac.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we're on Twitch. There's a lot of people that don't want to fucking talk to other humans when they go outside.
We should automate.
You gotta draw the line. These companies that work in the maritime business come from overseas. Not one of them belongs to America. They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs. Good paying jobs that support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes. They want to get rid of them. Where's the President of the United States? He's not fighting for us. He told in LA, he told the union, hurry up and get a contract. That's the mentality they have. They don't even know what the hell they're doing today. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to save everybody's job when it comes to the ILA and to all the unions around the world, because we're going to fight it with that alliance. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them. So, yes, your answer is we came a long way. We came along so advanced that technology is mind-boggling. We never had cameras on the piers. They got a camera in every pole. They got cameras they want to put in the trucks to watch the driver driving. What is this, Big Brother? I'm against all that. I'm against that. A man can't even breathe without a camel looking at him. That's not.
I like that.
I love 78-year-olds.
Okay, he's awesome.
He's the greatest. He was talking. He had this whole thing prepared about like automation and the economy, and he's like, and another thing, I should be able to smoke a Black and Mild on the job.
Yeah. Why can't we do our own 5-figure discounts every now and then? Hey, what the fuck?
My test for you as an American is like, whenever you find out like the types of stories the New York Post fucking loves running, the ones where it's like, this fucking MTA guy gets paid $375,000 a year and he goes to work twice a week. If you're like, if that is an animating cause for you, if you are against guys like that, guys who have, you know, either gamed the system or legitimately accrued seniority and everything. If you are against a guy like this making like $400,000 a year in an economy where like you can make $70 million making a bad chat bot that sucks and loses money, then you're a maniac. We're not part of the same team.
Yeah.
Right.
What about, there certainly must be, since 1967, elements of technology that have been good for the industry.
Technology that's been good for the industry. That's a tough one because I got to be careful because I'm against automation. Semi-automation is automation. It's just the back avenue had to come in and give you automation without you knowing it. But certain technology, yes, is good because computers, we get more work done with computers.
You on the phone?
We have doubled the cargo. We have, if you look now, we have ships that are being built by these companies. Check this out. That whole 22,000 containers. It's a floating city. They had to take the Bayonne Bridge and raise it way up here so the ships could go under it to get in here to unload them. 22,000 containers. It's amazing how we came from the first ship with just a small amount of containers. 25, 50 boxes on them. So look at the future now. Look at the future in money. They went from millions of dollars to billions and billions of dollars. So the world is going by real quick.
Is it safe to say that you're not against technology for efficiencies, but you're person first, people first, like protecting jobs and families while embracing technology to keep the workflow efficient?
Let me explain a little bit about this. The first cranes that went up with diesel engines up there. As time went on, they got rid of diesel. Today, it's electric. The jobs on the waterfront are very dangerous. Just 2 years ago, one of my mechanics fell into the electric and he was fried to death. Wife, 4 kids. Happens all the time on the piers. People getting killed. There was a woman checker. She was checking the boxes when a guy had a high-low with 2 stacks of steel. He should have been riding in reverse. He was looking through the bundles, knocked her down. He didn't even see her, dragged her under the high-low in front of her son, ripped her apart and killed her. It happens.
Christ.
It happens down here all the time. I have 2 guys killed right in front of me. It happens.
This is why I think he's Italian.
Because
This is an old Italian guy thing, just kind of out of nowhere. They'll be like, did you hear about the toddler that was skinned alive? And you're like, what?
Okay, he's literally he has so far convinced me that automation is in fact good.
Yeah.
And that there should be more of it for safety, and that this guy, like, I only heard the part where he talks about like the effectiveness of a strike in a clip on, I think I saw it on TikTok or something that I really liked from this interview. I did not realize the rest of the interview was him not realizing that he's making an argument for automation. Okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love this guy, but like, he spent about 5 minutes just being like, I love the passage of time.
Yeah.
How it used to be a small ship and now it's a big ship. And then the interviewer's trying to get him back on course.
Yeah.
And he's like,
no, but let me tell you about this other guy that got skinned alive.
yeah.
All right. This guy, one of my workers, fell in the electric, fried his ass.
There was a real nice girl. You like to see her coming, walking away, if you know what I mean. She flew to Earth she flew to work with an umbrella like Mary Poppins. Everyone loved her. You know what happened to her? Skewered. Skewered and spun around and turned into shawarma. Fried, baked, basted.
We have a group in our local 1804 dead called the Lashes. The most dangerous job on the waterfront.
Oh my God!
When they put the containers,
He's still
more
going.
dangerous
No,
than that.
Stop! Don't, dude, don't get into it. No.
This is like the killing fields.
Yeah, he's like, we sometimes if there's not enough dead, I kill them. Personally, we got a quota.
on top of that,
they're done. See these glasses? These are fashion glasses, not urban intellectual glasses.
Yeah, if I had
those
to
are the first to go.
Yeah, if I had to see out of these fucking glasses, they'd shoot me dead.
I'd load the ball for them.
the hatch covers all the way up high, you see them in the container ship. They got to be all lashed down in case the storm and the seas are real rough. The ship is doing this and this. If they're not lashed down right, those containers are going to go over into the ocean and sink. Millions of dollars of cargo sunk. So what? My men got to go out there. It's 0 degrees. There's ice on top of the container. It's freezing with metal bars and hooks, safety lines on them, way up high. And they got to put them down tight, get up on the box, slide on the ice up on top. Completely dangerous. That's in the north. In the south, it could be 95, 105 degrees. Soaking wet down there. They got a guy that goes around, they call him the water boy, giving water to the men so they don't dehydrate. Or the ones that work in the hull of the ship, they get water. It's different elements. You have us here in the north, Canada. You have from Virginia down, all the way to Houston. Hot. Florida, everything's hot. Different elements. Dangerous job. We've had 17 people killed in the last 3 years.
Why are you doing
And 17
that?
people didn't come home. We just had a kid killed in
Why?
Houston. Young kid, a big
What argument are you
roll of paper, weighed a ton, rolled off on top of him, killed him. That's why I fight. I fight for jurisdiction. I fight for safety. I fight for these to be compensated with good salaries. These companies are making billions of dollars. They should take us along. We brought them to.
Like if he brought this up in terms of like the workplace conditions and how they need to be improved, and that was like a part of his argument, then that's fine. But like he's talking about this as a counter to the automation argument.
Yeah.
It's just
I can kind of try to figure out why he brought it up, but it's still like really not making the case, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, it is a tough job. It's not an
Where
easy
they
fucking
are.
job at all. It's
How do you
just-
want to get rid of us?
Nerve-wracking.
That's not fair.
Nerve-wracking. I would hate
Not
to be in
fair
this
at all.
position, but
Yeah.
And this union's been around close to 200 years. So you could see why I'm always fighting.
Why do you think you haven't had to strike since then?
Because you had leaders like me, and the companies got smart and said, we don't want to go through another 3 months strike. Let's negotiate in good faith.
This is the good part.
Back then, the companies didn't make the money that we make today. So we negotiated in good faith. We went with 6-year contracts. And we got $1 raise, $1.50 raise for 6 years. It was great. It was a lot of money compared to 80 cents for 3 months. But today's world, it's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men, because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve.
Do you think, this is my last question, do you think the threat of the strike is they can understand the significance of that based on the recent things that have happened, like our Key Bridge. We're from Maryland. Our Key Bridge collapsing and it just stopping all the ships from being able to deliver.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to tell you something.
Okay.
When that bridge fell, my longshoremen are on this side of the bridge, no work, no salaries. Biden called me up on the phone, President Biden. Harold, I got the money to build a new bridge. I go, oh. What about my longshoremen? They're out of work now. They didn't cause no problem. Well, he goes, I got the money for building a new bridge and getting the bridge that's in the water out of there. I ask you one more time, President, what about the men whose families now have no money coming in? Well, if there was an explosion on a ship, maybe I can get the money. Listen, you're supposed to be a friend of the ILA. You came to me when you wanted the AFL-CIO backing. I got it for you. You called me in the kitchen, you thanked me 1,000,000 times. I'm telling you, my members need help. Well, let me see what I can do. In politics, that means you're not getting it, okay? I opened up
I love this guy.
Yeah.
He's so sick.
I would give anything to hear the conversation with him and Biden.
Yeah.
That was probably fantastic.
Harold. Look alive. We got money maybe in the tank. Going to Israel.
I told you, I want to help the NAACP, whatever you are.
of fun with management.
You're a real
after
battle
the first
guy,
pandemic.
Harold.
Let me see how much money's in that fund. I called them up. They called me back. $300 million. Wow, are you kidding me? We put $300 million in there? Yeah. Well, I like to take some money out of there and pay for those families in Baltimore. Well, Harold, it's only for pandemic. Well, what about we get your lawyers and my lawyers, and any disaster, nature disaster, whatever, we can draw from it. I have no problem as long as the lawyers work it out. They worked it out one day. It cost me $1.2 million every week to pay for their families. Plus, they were allowed to go to unemployment. And it's over now. They're back working. The ships are going in and out. I never got no help from the government. We did it on our own, management and union. That's what we're supposed to be doing, working together. And I hope we get back into that right realm.
Do you think
that was in Baltimore?
Right.
What was the question again?
Well, it was just about I remember how
God.
significantly it impacted our businesses, like the supply chain, because I
glad you
live
brought that
on
up.
the Chesapeake
Let me
Bay,
explain
and all
something.
the ships were just waiting on the other
Liz,
side.
let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
The music is really funny at the end, but yeah, I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
And he's great. That last part is the only part that I saw from this interview that I thought was really good. And not the long, convoluted explanations of how many of his workers were dying in horrifying circumstances that could potentially be automated. But
he did the Academy Awards, like This Is Who Died This Year. but like his take on it, certainly.
Yeah. But that's a good take. Wait, let's see what they're saying on
over the weekend. The past
Secretary of Labor Julie Su has been terrific. She's knocking down doors. She's trying to stop this. She's trying to get us to a media where we can have a fair negotiations. It's the companies that don't want to. They don't want to sit here and be fair. So that's why we're out here fighting for our livelihood.
What more from the automation do you want? What more protections could there be?
What more?
Yeah, they have language in there now.
Not strong enough, because what happens is they come in with new technology. We just caught them in Mobile, Alabama, called Autogate, and that means the trucks are coming in and they're already checked in somewhere else and not using the checkers in the ILA. Circumventing the contract. They don't care. They don't care. It's not fair. And if we don't put our foot down now, they would like to run over us, and we're not going to allow that.
You are going to grind the economy to a halt here on the East Coast and the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, it's like, dude, the part that's like very frustrating. Obviously, media is never this adversarial to those in positions of power or any fucking corporate CEO. Like, why don't you ask this question to a fucking CEO? Why is it never this exact question? They have literally singular power to end this strike. He doesn't. He has to take a contract back. He has to fight his fucking hardest. He has to take that contract back to his rank and file. That rank and file has to ratify the contract democratically. Okay? He has to do literally the best possible job he could do so that his own fucking workers actually vote for the contract to ratify it. The CEO, on the other hand, could literally, with the stroke of a fucking pen, stop the strike dead in its tracks by conceding to the reasonable demands made by the union. And you never, ever, with the exception of some labor reporters, and they're not working in mainstream press for the most part, they never, and it's not just Fox News, it is every goddamn media company. Don't act like this is just a Fox News situation. CBS, CNN, NBC, ABC. I never, ever hear this question being directed at the CEOs. Why? One must ask the question, why? Every single part of American news media operates on the exact same principle. It is always, and it's not just American news media, it's the same in the UK. It's the same everywhere else, okay? They never ask the question to the fucking CEOs, why are you crippling the economy?
Yeah, no, that is obviously all political institutions and political media in America is extremely degenerated and showing the ill effects of everyone being on the computer. But when you want to see cable news in its most efficient, closest to origin function, it's stuff like this. Yeah. It's what, acting as the cheerleading section for the Pinkertons and Spirit.
For sure.
That is, Fox is, that's like, the reason that Fox will probably always exist to do this during strikes. Same with CNN, same with MSNBC. Every network has, I would say CNN, their core purpose like this is more so like America's wars. Fox's is more strikes and stuff like this. I'm recalling Steven Crowder's star-making turn.
Oh yeah, when he got fucking clocked in the face.
But they all basically have this editorial position.
Yeah. That's precisely it.
Not us. They are. Don't spin it now because you're Fox News. They're going to drive it.
But are you worried?
They're going to drive it.
Are you worried that this strike?
They have the capital to settle this thing.
Are you worried that this strike is going to hurt the everyday American, the farmers that need to reach the export market? They're telling me that they're going to hurt through all of this.
Now you start to realize who the longshoremen are, right?
Nobody cares.
People never gave a about us until now, when they finally realized that the chain is being broke now. Cars won't come in. Food won't come in. Clothing won't come in. You know how many people...
Teamsters also have this level of power as well, similarly.
Yeah.
Like any aspect of the labor union that touches the supply chain, I mean, most labor unions are this powerful. That's the reason why we've gutted them. Because they could completely shut down the economy if they chose to do so. And that's why we have so many different legal ways of like forcing them back to work, which to credit Genocide Air Brandon is not doing that. Like and they have been relatively strong on the labor front, and they have reiterated their commitment as well, which is really funny because like all the liberals are like, these guys are so stupid. They're doing a cargo cult like in their defense for labor unions when this guy is like a secret Trump supporter or an overt Trump supporter, and he's in the tank for Donald Trump. He's like trying to create an inflation crisis right before the fucking election to hurt the Democratic Party's chances. That's what they're saying about him.
In what way did that guy mean cargo cult?
I don't.
Does he just like it just I saw that post. It just doesn't seem to be applied in the correct way.
I don't even I have no idea. But yeah, he said Joe Biden said ocean carriers have made record profits since the pandemic, and in some cases profits grew in excess of 800%. It's only fair that workers see a meaningful increase in their wages as well. I don't care about forcing them back to work. I did NATO.
AUKUS.
AUKUS Jack, Five Eyes. Look alive.
It's so funny. It's so funny that like this is like, you know, this is one area where like Kamala is, should she win, will undoubtedly be shittier than Brandon on. But it's also funny that like it is sort of his thing with unions and like American workers in general is sort of inseparable from a lot of his more defining traits, specifically in foreign policy, because part of his pitch, if he was capable of more coherence, is that like, you know, America's perpetual state of funding various proxies is good because the actual jobs of like making the missiles are high paying, high skilled like labor jobs.
Yeah.
And it is like just like that is like if he were capable of expressing that, it is like a sort of shocking concept to run on.
It's just interesting to me that there was another group of individuals that got together and collectively disrupted shipping. And their reasoning for it was to stop the genocide in Israel. And Biden did not like that at all. He didn't like it so much that he spent billions of dollars trying to stop those guys unsuccessfully.
Well, they fucked around and found out. They found out why America doesn't have more 3-day weekends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait till like 30 years from now we get like the full extent of what happened during Operation Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Because it's similar to the Israeli thing of like, we're not showing the pictures but then nothing happened, you know? With Operation Amazon Prime, there were all these like ships that were like made in 2017 where it's like, it's gotta go back to fucking Qatar for no reason. Nothing happened to it.
Yeah.
Depend on our jobs, half the world. And it's time for them and time for Washington to put so much pressure on them to take care of us, because we took care of them and we're here 135 years and brought them where they are today, and they don't want to share.
And I mean, I guess they have a working clause that they don't disrupt military shipments anyway. So there's that as well. ILA will maintain pledge to handle military cargo during strike and passenger cruise ships. 2 key sectors for the American economy.
If is anyone out there in chat? Are you cruise ship people? Anyone in there? Anyone in the thousands of people? I never encounter anyone who
my podcast co-host went on a ship once. He went on a cruise ship once. He did not like it.
Yeah, that's like they're gonna be like, you know, airships. I don't think anyone below the age of 60 like routinely goes on them or goes on them at all.
I don't really understand it. I think it's like really weird. Also, to be fair, he is gay. My podcast co-host, the one that went on a cruise.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it was a gay cruise, so that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I don't really get it.
Fucking weird sector of the economy.
Yeah.
I think that cruise ships they should be like American supercarriers, and they should be nuclear powered.
Blue MAGA. I'm all for unions, but
Okay.
we have a problem with this guy in the dockwork strike with 45,000 longshoremen striking from Maine to Texas, don't we? This is our October surprise.
No, October, you guys.
No, your October surprise is
made
Israel.
The October surprise.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You
Biden was like, oh, give me an October promise, Jack. Promise that you'll invade Lebanon.
Yeah.
I hate those lesbians.
It's the equivalent to like if in 1980 Carter like got in contact with comedian. He was like, "Can you kill half the hostages?"
Yeah, yeah. He did
kill
that.
half the hostages.
He did that
and
himself.
Sam a pussy.
ILA President Daggett enjoys a long relationship with Donald Trump going back decades. Like he literally endorsed Joe Biden.
Yeah,
he endorsed Joe Biden. Why would he have done that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he have done that then? He should have just endorsed Donald Trump last time. Or maybe he's like JD Vance. He's like, I thought Donald Trump was Hitler. I was lied to.
yeah. And then we find
I was groomed as a 68-year-old man.
We find a bunch of DMs from like 2 years ago where it's just DMing a random guy. Actually, I like Biden, but I'm for Trump because I'm corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny that these guys have no way of looking at the situation and being like, maybe they want to get paid more. And you are supposed to use the maximum amount of leverage that you have. Like, why won't the union strike in a more opportune time is such a funny thing that people say in America. It's like, what do you mean? An opportune time? So like easier to avoid for the fucking companies? Like, what do you mean?
It's that just like at a better time thing is just like a central part of like post-Obama liberalism too.
Yeah, now is not the time, guys.
Don't do it during midterms. Don't do it during a presidential election. Don't do it when Congress is in session. The president is trying to get his agenda passed.
Yeah. Don't do it at the top of the hour, chat, when there's a 3-minute ad break. Boom. How about that? The way that you can collectively avoid it is by subscribing. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. The Democrats want undying loyalty from union members and labor leaders. We saw it with Sean O'Brien. I mean, they literally are.
Controversy or even the hint of people being mad at them is to immediately like throw someone under the bus. And it's like, well, then that's like deleting your phone when you're Eric Adams. Now you sure as shit look guilty.
Yeah. My only policy is I vote for whoever replies to me on Twitter by directly adding me.
Well, this is so low rent. What he's
doing follow for follow.
He's playing Don. This is incredible.
All I'm saying is he wants to win more than the Democrats do. And it's usually the Republican Party that is always like fighting hard to win. And this man will go on any podcast, okay? If there is like one guy who has never voted in his entire life, believes in every conspiracy theory that he's ever heard, so much so that it almost like looped back into real world shit, like he like now actually has like a coherent worldview. If that guy's going to go out and vote for him because Donald Trump went on a podcast, he's going to go on that podcast. Like, he's going to go on Hawk Tua before the end of this fucking cycle, okay?
I would say like a 51% chance that happens.
Yeah, I could see it. But
you should go on Club Random.
Club Random.
They would probably agree on wokeness.
They should go on. They should bring back the FaZe Banks Basement podcast.
Oh my, FaZe Banks he's in a renaissance now.
Yeah.
I've been so happy.
Yeah.
I was so
That's my goat.
He like disappeared after the only 3 episodes of Mom's Basement aired.
Yeah.
There are only 3 episodes of it. The infamous XXXTentacion one, Shane Dawson and Ninja. Those are the 3 episodes that exist. But he like vanished from the world right after that. But he has he's been everywhere now, and it's really
he's entertaining going on Red Scare. All right, hold on, I gotta pee real quick. But here, this is the thing I wanted to show. Obviously, FEMA announced a $9 billion budget shortfall, and the same day they gave $8.7 billion in weapons to Israel. You make sense of this.
all right. So, does anyone out there in Chatland? Because I have not yet been able to ascertain this. What are the weapons that Israel actually got in this specific package? I'm presuming it's a lot of GBU 31s, 32s, JDAM kits. Seeing a lot of JDAMs. Well, yeah, bombs and shit, obviously. I don't think that they're getting, like, I don't know, a Coke freestyle machine. I mean, what specific munitions? Okay. Never mind. You know what? Never mind. The mouse is so far away. This is really making this segment tough for me. All right. Well, okay. Do any of these articles want to tell me what was in the package? God. Penetrative GBU 31s. Makes sense. We got to the bottom of nothing. I was struggling to find the mouse or to get a hold of the mouse. I asked questions.
That's why it's the most difficult job, dude.
Yeah, it was hard.
It's the hardest fucking job in the goddamn world. But yeah, FEMA announced a $9 billion budget shortfall for Hurricane Helene recovery. Same day, the U.S. gave $8.7 billion in weapons to Israel. On September 26, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell updated reporters on the forecast for supporting communities suffering from Hurricane Helene. We're already through INF, the immediate needs funding, close to $9 billion in projects that we have to put on hold that we can't reimburse communities for. Seems like the FEMA administrators also in the pocket for Donald Trump.
All of these people. Now is not the fucking time.
Yeah, how about you shut the fuck up and do your job, right? It's like, sweetie, we have to vote for the Democrats. The same day that Israel announced that it had secured an $8.7 billion weapons package from the United States paid for by American taxpayers. I, for one, think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think that Israel deserves it more than people in Asheville, North Carolina. Sorry.
Yeah, try having a pride parade in Asheville. You'll get thrown off a roof.
Yeah.
Do you know what they do to gay people in Asheville?
That's what the upper middle class white folk living in Asheville are doing. The liberals.
That's what they do to bottoms. They say we have enough bottoms. There's a top crisis, and they throw you off a roof. I'd like to see you be a fucking girl boss in Asheville. Not gonna happen, honey.
Yeah. Well,
I have been thinking about this, and there's been a lot of discussion about this, about like this sort of truism that people do a lot now, especially sort of like right adjacent internet personalities, where it's like, we're sending, X amount of money to Ukraine, but we can't spend, X amount of money on Y, when usually it's people who don't support spending X amount of money on Y. And, obviously people make the point that it's like unsophisticated because it's different sources of funding.
It's a classic, like, oh, we don't even take care of our homeless veterans. It's like, bro, I saw you spitting on a homeless veteran yesterday. Like, shut the fuck up. You call the cops on a homeless veteran to kill the guy.
Yeah.
And then next day you're tweeting about how you care about homeless veterans only when immigrants come up.
Yeah. But like with that, being a truism or unsophisticated, it's less salient than the fact that, like, North Carolina is fucking underwater. We sent what
it's cool because it's also currently like a swing state as well. Like, it's a state that they want to win.
North Carolina underwater. What was the first question in the VP debate last night?
Yeah.
Whether it is the same source of money or not, and sure, it's not in a lot of these cases. The locus of attention and effort by the White House is a much more salient point, and it's very clear where the effort and attention is going.
Yes, it is manufacturing a circumstance in which they end up inevitably losing the election because the one fucking pariah state that they have done this double suicide pact with is being run by a guy who is like openly in the tank for your opposition.
Yeah, you think the longshoreman guy likes Trump?
Yeah.
Wait till you fucking get a load of this guy.
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu flew to Mar-a-Lago like to kiss the ring. It's cool. It's really cool that we're just the Democratic. How do you square this circle when you see everybody talking about we got to win every voter, we got to win every like right wing guy by being marginally more and more right wing on every issue? Okay, we got to win the Nikki Haley constituency, which is definitely going to vote for Trump. We got to win those guys over, but also hundreds of thousands of people with an increasing number of new people that we're adding on to that coalition of people who are just like, dude, you're killing my family members. You know, like hundreds of thousands of fucking voters in key states. They can fuck off. We can win without them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe my strategy for Democrats this year. Let's all vote for Donald Trump to show Republicans were reasonable.
Yeah.
And then the next election in 2028 will be like, well, we voted for him.
Yeah. If you vote for him, he will win. And also, you can convince him. You can convince him if you vote for him.
He's going to be bad, but we have to vote for him now so that in 2028, when his successors or when JD Vance is running, we'll go, look, we supported Trump, but this guy is so bad and such a threat that we're voting for the Democrat this time.
Okay, you're also like, you're joking, but you're also basically describing Democrat strategy from 2020 to 2024.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. What is this? To understand this and to continue to ship weapons is monstrous. If Biden thinks Netanyahu is tanking a ceasefire deal and trying to get Trump elected, it is that much more shameful that he still won't make even a minimal effort to use his leverage over Israel. Biden told his confidants he did not believe his Israeli counterpart wanted a ceasefire deal, arguing that Netanyahu was trying to perpetuate the conflict to save his political future and assist Trump in November's election.
What is your plan here then? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing then?
He's just, I'm Israel high.
Yeah.
Look alive.
That's the only explanation.
No, you know what it is? He's a secret Nazi. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. And he's like, no, listen, if I act like Jews do control me with mind control powers, then we can get all the Americans to also feel that way. And then we can do the Fourth Reich. Like, it makes no sense. What are you doing?
It's baffling. It is hard to figure out who the bigger fuck up is. Is it Jazzman Blinken? Is it Biden? Is it fucking
Kirby?
Kirby.
I hate him so much.
Kirby's pretty awful, but I feel like
Brett McGurk. Or the other guy who was an IDF guy. What was the Amon something? The two dudes that apparently convinced the two dudes that were like, no, go into Lebanon. It'll be sick. Amos Hochstein.
Yeah.
Hochstein.
With that, it's like, okay, they're just agents of another government.
Dude, this is my favorite. Mossad has Biden there. He's 800 years old, dude. You think he's like, bro, he can't even wipe his own butt. You think he's like
gonna die like next year.
He's like, I'm really worried about the compromising photos that they have of me. We have seen the dicks of every Biden. Okay, we can. I already know what his cock looks like. I've seen many different versions of it. Okay, it's probably nice. All right. All things considered.
What is the dirt? Is it like? Actually, Joe Biden's dad did not say "love is love" in 1949. He did something much worse.
Yeah, like what could the dirt on Joe Biden be that is like so damning he doesn't want it out there, and that's why he's unconditionally riding with Israel?
It's like, well, it's gonna be like all stuff that like everyone already knows.
Yeah, he's lying
really
about.
Old.
He's demented.
He's really old. He lied about being arrested protesting apartheid. Like all these things that were already but he's just too old to realize that that already happened.
Yeah, no, it's gonna come out that he doesn't actually support NATO.
Yeah, that's it. He in private moments he condemns AUKUS.
No.
Oh, fucking come on.
No. The book by Ben Shapiro being adapted. Music and lyrics by David Shapiro.
David Shapiro on a David Shapiro production.
We will rise. Damn. This is gonna, dude, this is.
The soldier looks like, by the way, the soldier looks like he's walking the kid into his first day at Dachau. He's like, okay, have fun, loser. They did such a bad job. The soldier's like, could you quit crying?
Yeah, no,
we're already fucking 5 minutes late to Dachau.
No, the fucking.
I have to go get killed in Merkava.
No, this is base because the kid's Palestinian. Like they're saying like this is what is happening.
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, what the fuck, dude? Dude, this shit is so crazy, man. Oh my god.
Can we take AI away from Israel? Like,
dude.
Can you guys stop? My god.
Oh, it's crazy. The title in Hebrew is "We Will Avenge Again." Oh, nice.
No.
Yeah, no, this is definitely
Beautiful.
AI art. Look how fucked up everything is.
They love AI in Israel. They do. They use AI for things that don't even like make sense to use AI for. They're obsessed with it.
Like you could take this photo, you could Photoshop it.
Yeah.
But nope, they AI'd it. Also, like it's still a weird image on top of the fact that yes, it looks like an IDF soldier is like, you know, walking a Jewish child into a concentration camp. But like, it's also weird because it's like this beautiful field, and then it's the IDF soldier in like full combat fatigue. It's just like none of it makes sense. Like, are they saying that like, yeah, because of the IDF, we have these beautiful fields? Like, it makes no. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
You found the program for the musical.
Ooh.
We Will Rise is the first musical of its kind in Israel, combining deep and exceptional writing by Ben Shapiro, powerful music and lyrics by David Shapiro, and moving performances by some of the best actors. The musical features Israel's Sinfonietta Be'er Sheva with an ensemble of 30 musicians on stage conducted by Ronnie Calderon. It's an epic, devastating, and uplifting historical story of the... Wait, what the fuck? Wait, this is literally pro-Palestinian.
Yeah, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising to October 7th.
Wait.
Well, they're saying the post-October 7th reality, but it's like...
Why are you so like? I
Don't
kept saying this in the early days of October. I was like, if I'm Israel, I'm probably not using ISIS all the time because, like, if you Google Israel ISIS, you're gonna not like what the news information that comes up. Israel gives weapons to ISIS soldiers. Israel offers medical treatment to ISIS soldiers.
ISIS on 5th straight year of not attacking Israel.
Yeah, it's like weird that they kept doing that. Like if I'm Israel, I'm probably not using Hamas's ISIS as a direct counter. But also this, like, never mention the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising in the same sentences of October 7th because the similarities are crazy. It's like right there for people to look at.
Yeah, at this point, as an Israeli, you should never bring it up. Because also their entire thing is that like everyone who died in the Holocaust is like weak and so like just pretend that didn't happen. It'll serve you better. Yeah, I love this phrase. Some of the best actors we have. That's so true. Like the Trump symbiote is in Ben Shapiro now.
Yeah. A young artist who wants to escape the ghetto, Malka. A dreamer and a rebel who wants to fight for her people's survival, Mary. A convert who only wants to save her daughter, Mordecai Anilovitz, leader of the Fighting Underground, and Adam, I can't say that last name. Okay. It's Polish, I think.
Let me try my best. Zerniakow. That
was pretty good.
Zerniakow.
I think that was good.
Born and raised in Chicago.
We Will Rise was originally written as the story of the Jews of Warsaw, pushed together by fate and bound together in common destiny. Despite internal and political disagreements, the enemies of the Jewish people do not distinguish between opinions and countries. As a nation, we have no choice but to unite as a family. After October 7th, this message has become even more important and relevant. Only by embracing eternal destiny, we can rise up together. That's it. Oh, here, there's more.
Okay.
They got... Oh
this fucking...
There's always like one guy who's like fallen out of favor in Hollywood that will participate in this. That's what I'm looking for right now. It's like Some random dude. Nope. Yoav Mikhaili, director.
All these Israeli TV shows he worked on sound great.
Yeah.
The Bigamist, The Arbitrator, The Loners. This is how they titled TV in like 1953 when there were 4 shows.
Yeah. I don't know how many shows they have. And Zachary Levi will be in the next one. Oh, wait. I didn't know Zachary Levi wasn't Jewish. Did you know that he like adopted his like middle name to sound more Jewish because he thought he would get better roles in Hollywood or something?
That's
Did I get
hilarious.
Duped? Did I get duped into this, into believing this, or is this real? Hold on, we have to look this up. Maybe someone on Counter-Strike told me.
I love that that's shorthand for just like bullshit.
No, hold on, let me see. He's been vague about that. Levi is his middle name, and using your middle name to enter SAG isn't unusual. He's definitely joked about it being mistaken for being Jewish in Hollywood. That's something as an asset in a vacuum. What? No, that's not. I feel like there's definitely hold on. He said, because I think he recently said in a piece, he said in a piece that like they're being anti-Semitic to him or something, and people are like, "You're not Jewish."
Okay, I have to. Let me confirm.
Yeah, look. Actor Zachary Levi said he's recently been turned down for multiple roles because he was told he was too Jewish. Wait, is he actually Jewish or not?
I'm ascertaining it. Though he has no Jewish ancestry, Levi is often incorrectly perceived to be Jewish due to his stage name.
Yes! Yes!
God, he is the perfect RFK voter. If only he could actually vote for RFK.
Wait, but why is this Tablet magazine article making it seem like he is Jewish?
It's Tablet. You know, like they are out to lunch.
They're doing the black Israelite Shakespeare was black, but for Zachary Levi, there wasn't a target-rich environment of very famous Jewish actors, so we're just assuming that the guy who played Chuck is Jewish.
I love the idea that like he did this as like a scheme where he's like, all right, all the producers are Jewish, and once they think I'm Jewish, I'll get everything. And like it's going well, he's Chuck. But then, like, a producer catches on, and that's when everything starts going downhill. Dude. That's when they shovel steroids down his throat to make him play a character who never takes his outfit off. That's when they make him be Harold.
Thor star Zachary Levi says he's been turned down for roles because he's too Jewish, even though he's not Jewish at all. Yo! Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, I think this is a Tyler Fisher thing, because, like, they were never going to give him the role anyway. And like the casting director or whatever was like, yeah, you're like too Jewish or something. And he's like, well, there you go.
That's amazing. No, he did the I'm not Jewish, but Jewish before George Santos. He's the one. He's the one.
Man.
Oh my God.
Oh my fucking God.
Do you want to go to the Scooter Braun Nova Music Festival installation?
Does sound pretty good.
Okay, we might.
Yeah, where is it?
I don't know, but one of my buddies hit me up and asked me if I would like to attend it and take a look.
Will I be like killed on site there?
I feel like there's someone there that could get killed on site before you. They'd be like,
I'll like if we get in trouble, I'll get us out of it. Like if someone stops us, I'll be like, oh my God.
This is where Brace is like, he can go to that and people will not bat an eye.
Yeah.
Brace and Liz went, yeah, I know. That's why I kind of want to go and check it out.
I haven't gone to like a goofy conservative thing in a while. I always talk about how much fun I had at CPAC and how badly I want to go to something like that again.
Yeah.
I think I'll be fine there.
But yeah, Zachary Levi, not Jewish. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Not Harold, not magic.
I heard multiple times I was too Jewish, he told Confidential, which is surprising because I go by Zachary Levi. Levi is my middle name. Pugh is my real last name. I'm Welsh. That's incredible. Won't Cutie kill you for going to that? Cutie, I get fucking killed by K-pop stans who are pro-Palestine before. Yeah. Oh yeah, Scooter Braun is linking up.
Scooter Braun is like the perfect celebrity for Israel.
Yeah.
Kind of like he's. They can really pick him.
Yeah, former hostage Noah Argamani met Ed Sheeran and Post Malone via Scooter Braun, who made the introduction. Noah, you deserve all the happiness in the world. You get all the happiness in the world by meeting Post Malone.
He looks thrilled.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he definitely is going to remember
Look
this.
at him in the background.
Yo, get me.
Oh yeah.
I'm wearing my casual hat.
Wait, what? Shai Davide has tattoos, which notoriously makes him ineligible to be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
Well, like taking tattoos from a Gen Xer as Shai David is, well, it's kind of like forcing a Hasid to turn on his own light switches on the.
Yeah, he's so sick. He's so cool.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love my favorite post of the last year. On Saturday, I went viral at Columbia because I cried. he's very
it's so
funny.
He got like progressively more manic. First, he tried to do the lib shit for like a day.
Yeah.
And then very quickly dropped it and was like cackling, like with such bloodlust. He literally went from like, oh, I cry for everyone, I'm so sad about everything that's going on, to like, we should kill the Jewish students that are leading these protests in Colombia.
He couldn't hold it together for a week. He was like, people in Israel call me a terrorist sympathizer, but I want coexistence for everybody. And then like just a week passes.
Oh man, such wonderful things here in the United States of America.
Is there anyone like notable in here? It seems like there's the same guy over and over and over again. Like they just a lot of. Is this like a bald work program? This is the biggest collection of bald men I've ever seen.
Bald? What's going on? They're so close to Turkey.
Maybe that if Erdogan won't do it,
yeah,
the great hair transplant men of Turkey will fight back against Israel. I stemmed a lot of hairline bleeding. But like if it ever gets really bad, I'm going there and I can show them my bona fides and my support for the Turkish aerospace industry.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, dude, you're a gray wolf, both spiritually and literally. Like you're good.
I would love to go there. I want to see the Taycan. I think it's fucking cool.
Join us for a third study in at Butler's Library main reading room. What? So is he still a professor or not? Like I don't understand. Didn't he get fired?
Like he just loiters around Columbia.
I thought he got fired. Like how can you still be a professor? He literally called like the Jewish students capos and shit. Like he was being so unhinged.
He got suspended. Was it, or did he like fully get fired?
I thought he got fired, but maybe not.
I thought it was a suspension because I remember Bill Smoke Crack Man being
Bill Smoke Crack Man.
He was like, if they don't reinstate Shai David, I'm gonna fucking blow my head off.
Yeah, this is a wonderful.
Oh my God!
What is this? His was automatically be minor.
Do you see that?
This is the most incredible story from Blue Sky.
This is why Blue Sky needs to exist, really.
Yeah. It's the perfect drip feeding of like shit that you see on Blue Sky. Like I don't want to get on Tumblr, but like every now and then you'll see like a post that hits, and this is it. This person replies, Tel Aviv deserves God's wrath, not gonna lie. Please don't. Look, someone very dear to me lives in Tel Aviv, and I'm worried sick about her. I'm asking y'all to redirect your anger towards the fascist genocidal Netanyahu government and the systems of cruelty that have led to this, not towards terrified civilians. A little compassion, please. My online dom lives in Israel. Because she's so stressed about living next to a war zone, I haven't properly gotten off since October 7th.
Incredible.
Cease fire now. I just want everyone to come together in peace. Me in particular, not trying to be flip. It's just such a ridiculous situation to be in.
How you can't. First of all, it sounds very inconvenient because Israel is like very far away. How do you work out the time zones? B, like a physical dom, okay, maybe if you have very specific taste. An online dom, couldn't ChatGPT do this for him?
Yeah.
Like what does an online dom do? Just like call you a fucking loser? What is she's better at it than anyone else? What a lunatic.
Yeah. She can only get it. She can only get it from her Israeli dom.
Ceasefire?
What is this?
My mom.
No,
That's an old club when he was playing the nuclear weapon game.
Dude, Motaz knows who I Show Speed is. I asked him. Yeah. He's yeah, he did. He knew who I Show Speed was, which is so sick.
I love
he's
Motaz.
like, yeah, he's like, yeah, he's very loud. That's what he said. He's like, yeah, that's the guy that screams a lot, right? Yeah. Yeah, free Palestine. It's so sick. This was great stuff. This is Israel Supreme Court ruled on Monday that a child conceived through artificial insemination using a fallen soldier posthumously preserved sperm will be recognized as a child of the deceased under the law on families soldiers who died in combat.
How many of those kids are there? Like Caliprod kids.
Dude, that's why they needed $9 billion extra for the goon platoon, dude. They're like, the goon platoon is working extra hard, okay?
Oh my God.
The other side of the story also is like, apparently first combat fatality reports coming in from Lebanon for the special military operation that they were conducting. That's not an invasion, by the way. And of course, as is the case always in Israel, the military censure is working overtime. But apparently there were like 20 medevacs that occurred and like a shit ton of ambulances into nearby hospitals.
It is allergy season.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
It could be a coincidence.
Yeah, someone swapped it. They put non-lactose free milk in the.
There's been a Claritin shortage. Those longshore guys who are voting for Trump are not, putting the Claritin and the pallets into the merchant marine ships.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, that to me is actually insane. Like that is like no self-preservation whatsoever. There's a lot of unique parts about this mania, and I don't understand how it so closely resembles either the Nazi government's like final push or South Africa, like apartheid South Africa, but
or like Vidalia in the Falklands, kind of.
It's just like it literally doesn't make sense. But like you have no self-preservation at all, where you're like, no, this country that we invaded unsuccessfully multiple times, like we should do that again. Especially now that they have better weapons and have hardened their security.
Do you think that like, I don't know, this is like, it's so hard to get inside someone's head, and it's usually futile because so many things can just be explained by stupidity. But like, do you think it's a case of like, they expected like to be able to kill a bunch of people, obviously, but at a certain point Biden goes, okay, enough of that, it's an election year, and then they would be like, begrudgingly forced to stop, but that would sort of bring it would be a closed loop. But the fact that there's been like no pushback, no suspension of weapon sales, and they get to just keep upping the ante, that they feel like, well, like shit, like we can't stop now. We can't stop unless it seems like America makes us stop, and they're not doing that.
I mean, it makes sense for America to rein Israel in to preserve Israel. Like the exit ramp has been there since early October. Pack up Netanyahu, say he's the big bad, move in like some fucking liberal general guy who is just as bloodthirsty, if not worse somehow, than fucking Benjamin Netanyahu. And then everybody goes back to like, oh man, we really have complicated politics here in Israel and are not like, baying for blood on a regular basis. But if left unchecked, it is very obvious that they are just going to keep fucking swinging at every single person, hoping that America keeps giving them weapons. But like, it's gonna like at a certain point it's gonna turn into the Ukrainian situation,
Right?
Like with Ukraine, they're obviously going up against a force with they obviously understandably have a desire for emancipation, and they're going up a force with like significantly larger military numbers, so they can throw more bodies at the problem. With Israel, they're like, oh yeah, we're getting our shit pushed in by fucking dudes in an open air prison that we created. Let's just go after a much larger military force. Doesn't make any tactical sense whatsoever.
I don't think that they really have a plan. I really do think that like they had a rough outline of like basically when America was going to stop, and that gives them an out where they're like, oh, we'd fucking kill all of you if it wasn't for America, but blah blah blah, and they get to keep like support, like Netanyahu gets to keep supporting Trump, etc. But it's hard. You cannot really overstate how just like directionless and without a conceivable strategy they are. And it's shocking. It's shocking. And it like, defies a lot of the explanation, but it just, when this is what happens when a state degenerates to a certain point into its bare essence.
We gotta, how much you want to bet this guy is German? Nothing can compare to the industrialization of killing people to the Nazis. Please don't use the Nazis as an example.
So obviously a German, because whenever Germans do that, it's like it's sort of a brag.
Yeah.
Nah, hey, come on, no one did it.
No one did it like we did it.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, it's always liberal Germans. German politics is amazing, dude. It's amazing. The pro-Zionist anti-fascists.
I had a dedicated like German replier who was always screaming at me. And he wasn't like young. Like a lot of anti-Deutsch people are like X or millennial cuspers or younger sometimes. This guy was like 60, which is like, okay, then your dad was almost certainly involved in something.
Oh, for sure.
Like, okay, buddy.
Doors open. Doors open. Okay, there you go. Murat's food is here. Yeah, I love this shit. I love when Germans fucking flex like this, when they're just like, listen, nobody did it like we did it. I'm not pro... Called it!
Oh,
See?
my God.
Yes!
Oh, my God.
I'm not pro-Zionist or pro-German. I am German, though. I'm telling you, dude.
God, what is wrong with you people?
I locked it. Dude, it is something... We know, chatter. We know you're German. From the moment that you type those words out, it is. You think this is my first time encountering a German man online who said these exact same words?
The real Carl, which is like, I feel like it's just. Or wait, I really do have late onset dyslexia.
The real Carl.
I think I need to get a new contacts prescription or something. But whatever. Carl, what a German name. But like Carl. No one else on earth talks like you people do.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I've been to Germany. You are a very singular people.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so funny. It's like, no, until dude, listen, until Israel kills it, at 5.9999 million Palestinians, still not the same. Do not compare it to Israel. I mean, do not compare it. I already did it. See,
See how easy it is? See how important education is?
Do not compare it to Nazi Germany. Please don't. 6 million, that's when you can do it. That's when it's appropriate and allowed, okay?
I hate that Germans are so like obnoxious about this shit, because I had a delightful time there. I really did. But seeing those like Bavarian hogs chase that little kid around because he had a Palestine flag.
Oh my God,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Dude, it is just straight Gestapo shit.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Are you saying they're low-key proud of that record? When I hear it from a German guy, it does sound like it a little bit.
It is a little bit like bragging.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 million in 3 years, or it's not comparable. Okay, yeah, get those numbers up, Israel, before we can get to talking. Ay. It's funny how even German Antifa is hardcore Zionist. I mean, is it that funny? I feel like it is funny, but I also think that like it makes total sense because if you have like collective massive guilt through this social conditioning, and you should to a certain degree, it's understandable, okay, for the crimes of your grandpappy, right? Then like it's a great way to just take all of that guilt and then put it towards a collective enemy, right? That's it. You're saying like, no, you don't understand. Like Muslims are way worse than the Nazis.
Yeah.
Like that's basically all you're saying. When a German person says that, that's all I'm hearing. You know, I don't hear anything else. When a German person is making a coherent in their mind argument, okay, when they're like, oh no, this is hyperbole or whatever the fuck, like it's usually just them saying, no, trust me, it wasn't us that is the big bad. It's actually the Muslims, okay? The Muslims that are way worse. You know?
It is interesting that Germany is so crazy. When I think Japan, going at the rate they're going with the videos I've seen, they are slowly getting turned one Israeli tourist incident at a time into being like the most anti-Zionist country on earth. Like, I don't know where they were before. I think that like, you know, people either didn't think about it or like were basically two-staters or whatever. But just every bad, like most of the bad Israeli tourist incidents I see take place in Japan for some reason. And it's just some psycho, like some like gross little bald guy screaming at like a 70-year-old Japanese guy.
Yeah. No politic here. It's like, bro, you went to Japan. Like, just let them think whatever they want to think, okay?
Yeah,
This
it's
shit's
like,
different out there. Okay,
dude,
calm down.
like,
don't worry, it's a client state of the United States of America. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they don't even kick the fucking Marines out of Okinawa with all the bullshit they've done. But yeah, no, it does make me wish that Kashiwagi from Yakuza was real, and he was defending Kamurocho. Akiyama, everyone would be defending Kamurocho from these bald little yelling guys.
That is a Yakuza side villain.
Yeah.
Like that you encounter.
Yeah.
The ultra Zionist guy
No
in
politics.
his diapers.
They're making Kiwami 3, I think.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
So,
it is.
like,
Yakuza is very woke, so I could totally see that happening in the upcoming Yakuza game.
3 is like a very divisive game in the series, and if they remove a lot of the orphanage stuff and replace it with like an Israeli tourist subplot,
Objectively
that'd
better.
be great.
Yeah. People saying free Palestine is not anti-Semitic don't understand the history of Israel. My great-grandfather helped slaughter every Jew in existence.
Oh my fucking god.
Bro, Germans are so weird about the Holocaust.
What is wrong with Germans?
I don't understand. Like, dude, they're so spiritually broken. Like,
no one brags like this.
yeah, it's just, dude, that's so strange. Like, that is a strange fucking thing to say, unless you're bragging.
And it also has nothing to do with his point.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't. What does Free Palestine have to do with his grandfather slaughtering Jews? It's just prima facie we're supposed to accept that Free Palestine implies exterminating Jews. No, that means that you just wanted to say that thing about your great grandfather.
I don't know.
You still want to brag about it.
Yeah, it's just weird because like I remember like Israel trying to be like, how dare South Africa get a say on what is an apartheid and what is not? It's like, what are you talking about? That's not like, are you mistaking it? Like, your greatest ally in the UN other than America is the country that did the Holocaust, and you don't even think about that. And you're over here shitting on the people that survived the apartheid, like the government that came after it, making it seem like they did it to themselves.
You also no one sold weapons to the apartheid government at the rate that Israel did towards the end either.
Yeah. freeing Palestine implies exterminating Jews. Therefore, free Palestine is anti-Semitic. Yeah, that's why Hitler was doing that to free Palestine.
What fucking great reasoning. This is just like this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Just in there are arguments that are like bad or like require a leap, but that isn't even an argument. It's just my grandfather shattered the backboard as far as Jew killing.
Yeah, he's putting up LeBron numbers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. There was no collective guild in the GDR. The Soviets never imposed that on the German mind. Only the Yanks in the West did. But also they didn't. Like, they didn't actually impose any collective guilt. They literally were like, oh yeah, we'll put the Nazis back in charge. That's precisely what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And this is the outcome of that.
They made a like post Third Reich too.
Yeah. Which is crazy because if I'm not mistaken, I think like even like the education surrounding the Holocaust came much later. Like an entire generation of like post World War II Germans were still like, no, we were the good guys in this process.
I don't know exactly when it came, but there like certainly were a lot of like Germans who were, you know, either served in the war or were too old for that. But yeah, had, you know, were just completely unremorseful. Donitz was a famous one of those.
That man's an academic sociologist is crazy.
Well, that's like the most common job in fucking Germany. Everyone there is a sociologist.
Yeah.
If you see a normal looking guy, he's a do nothing sociologist in
Listen,
Germany.
They're sociologists. They love socialism with a little bit of nationalistic characteristics. Okay, that's what it is.
The rule for
a little national socialism, if you will.
The rule for Germans, at least like West Germans, is a normal looking guy, most useless fucking job you've ever heard of. He's a socialist who works 2 days a month, or a sociologist who works 2 days a month. Or he does drum therapy for guys who got drummed out of the Bundwehr. But if you see a white guy with dreadlocks, that's a fucking nuclear scientist. That guy designed satellite. That guy is a genius. It's the opposite of America.
Opposite world, yeah.
Yeah, in America, you see a white guy with dreadlocks, and you're like, oh no, he's going to ask me a weird favor that I don't understand.
In Israel, you see a white guy with dreadlocks. He does not know how to read.
Well, in Israel, you see a white guy with dreadlocks, and you're like, hello, Senator. They don't have senators, I know.
Yeah, member of the Knesset of the Jewish Power Party from Hebron.
Yeah.
Like, he's like 16, does not know how to read, is advocating for women to not be able to retain a job. Yeah. Here's our younger senator. You see a white guy with dreadlocks in Israel, you know you're about to get spitted on.
that should be like, you know, the like Gini index, or however it's pronounced, the thing for like human development and equality, and like the freedom index. Yeah. There should be
the
a white
Gini coefficient.
Yeah, there should be like a white dreadlocks index. Like, what is the social status of white dreadlocks guys in this country?
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I guess Channel 4 did news coverage on the Hezbollah conflict. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you noticed this as well, but like Israel invading Lebanon and like blowing up Beirut has basically put an entire reset, as though like October 7 happened again, but this time Hezbollah did it, even though there was no October 7 that Hezbollah did. And the coverage is basically reset entirely, where the calculations are the same, the death and destruction is the same, and the justifications for it. Like, they even brought back Jonathan Concuncreas, the fucking Frankenstein's monster-headed guy.
Oh yeah, they took him out of storage.
Yeah, no, they unfroze him, and he was on CNN being like, yes, Hezbollah is they have terror babies in Beirut, in Dahia, so we have to blow it up. Like it's literally a rerun.
Yeah.
And it's shocking to me that, like, no, liberals since then have been coming in here to be like, don't you think it's optically bad that you are so in the tank for Hezbollah, that you are such a firm and committed Hezbollah supporter? Like, it's crazy. Like they're doing the terror tunnels arguments. Like they're doing all of this shit.
They're saying that people are just launching cruise missiles out of their fucking living rooms.
Yeah.
It is, pure rerun.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't understand how like now there are even more victims. Now there's even more family members. Like the Lebanese population is even larger in America than like the Palestinian or other Arab populations. So it doesn't, I don't know where we're going with this.
Palestinians also, Lebanese Americans also have kind of like been in America for longer and are more like deeply rooted in like, especially like in just personal experience in the Midwest.
Yeah. No, for sure. A lot of Christian Lebanese too, especially in the Midwest, that came around 1982.
Yeah.
For maybe things that they did in Lebanon around that time. So they had to come to the United States of America. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. No, it's not the same with Lebanese population. I'm not saying that, and I'm not calling you guys the same as like the Persian population of Los Angeles, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I have, however, seen a more diverse opinions from some in the Lebanese diaspora here. All right, let's watch this Channel 4 video.
Helicopters fly in to collect bodies on stretch.
Oh yeah, did you know Judge Janine Perot is Lebanese?
Oh yeah. No, they're I am, just so people know, I am halfway done editing the conservative media series. I should be recording by next week. I have to cast a few things though. You will find Maronites sprinkled throughout American conservatism.
Okay, don't come for Peter Dow like this.
No,
okay.
Peter is special. He's special. He's something else.
He made a genuine attitude change. Okay.
No, I would never insult Peter.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the fine. Like, I think he's a little bit of a crazy guy, but I don't mean that derogatorily.
Yeah.
I mean that in the most positive way. I think he's. You know what Peter Dow does that I love? He lives out loud.
Yeah.
That's something not a lot of other people do.
He's living La Vida Loca.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cheers.
Wait, Ralph Nader is Lebanese?
Yeah.
No way.
No, yeah. Johnny Manziel, part Lebanese. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Bro.
Benny Hinn.
Oh my God.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
The Lebanese control the media.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, wait, how the fuck? Yo, why is everybody talking about Jews, bro? The fucking Lebanese have infiltrated every orifice of American society. What the fuck?
Fucking Johnny Football. All these guys, they're all
Damn.
Lebanese.
Dude, the thing with Lebanese too is like you can kind of tell when someone's Turkish. I feel like Lebanese people look even whiter somehow. I can't believe I'm saying this. They're gonna love this. The Lebanese Christian are gonna love what I'm saying. They're gonna love.
We told you we're fucking Roman.
Yeah, dude. God damn
that
it.
Talib.
Yeah.
Talib thing.
Yeah. Dude, Talib is anti-Israel.
No, yeah, I love Talib. Well,
Yeah.
Talib is like, he says like weird stuff sometimes about Lebanese genetics.
Yeah.
But like his politics, like his international politics, he was like, talking about Saudi Arabia way before it was cool to do.
Yeah,
I have a ton of, I love Talib.
Yeah, he's Phoenician, my Phoenician king.
He's one of my most treasured mutuals. I wonder if
they
he
got a
still follows
Lebanese
me.
American celebrity list on IMDb. Wow.
There are so many, like,
wow. I know another list that Kanye was parading around.
With Lebanese, it would be like, I'm not going to say who the plastic surgeons were. I'm not going to say what country they were from. Like the Lebanese, they came here and they just grinded.
Yeah,
they're the most like grind set nationality.
Yeah, that's sick.
They got so much done.
Oh man.
This
Yeah, a lot of
purportedly
Hapa
footage
is,
of
I think
Israeli
she's
troops
Lebanese, right?
killed by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The army has today confirmed the deaths of 8 of its soldiers. But Israeli forces are still...
It's so crazy. The first time that they encounter like a dude who has a weapon in his hands, everybody dies. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that it's you know, I guess when you're too used to killing children, and that's the only combat training you have, it literally is a massive fucking problem when you have to deal with like actual people who know how to shoot their guns.
I mean, time and time again, that is what we see with armies who they change their focus from the conventional focuses that armies usually have to internal repression.
Yeah.
It always results in a complete degradation of fighting ability.
TikTok lost 8 of its most valuable
Yeah.
dancers on that day.
Rest in peace to the 4 field marshals, 3 lieutenant colonels, and the 1 private.
Yeah. The 1 private is the first day.
Yeah.
I've never seen a private get killed.
I think privates are like, you're only a private in like when you're a fetus in the 2nd trimester. You're like born a sergeant in Israel. You have to really fuck up to become a corporal.
What? I'm sorry, but Nazi Germans did round them up and put them in a chamber. It's just not comparable. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm saying Israel's so fucking wrong. I'm just saying it's not a country rounding. Bro, nobody cares.
Look,
okay.
okay.
The entire
You see-
here. You want me to give you the spiel? Oh, I'll just give him the spiel.
Okay.
Okay. The entire purpose of Never Again or Holocaust studies or genocide studies is so that we stop it from happening. Okay. If you fucking gatekeep the Holocaust like this, you're literally destroying the primary purpose of learning about it. Okay. Shut your German ass up. God damn it. Sorry, go ahead.
Carl, as someone who would have had a bad time in Germany many years ago, but in the grand scheme of things, had a very good time in Germany as things happen. I will say this to you. I think that you seem like a very nice man. I hope you're one of Germany's many dreadlock nuclear scientists. But yeah, I think just saying that, this nothing is comparable to this one thing, it flies in the face of the words of many actual Holocaust survivors.
Yeah.
So I'll say to you, I wish you the best, however. I hope to go back to Germany. I hope I don't get arrested for hate speech over there.
Yeah,
That may instantly happen to me.
They love locking up Jews in Germany.
Oh my god!
Like they really do. Remember that one the one Jewish anti-Zionist that had the Palestinian flag yarmulke?
Yeah.
And the most like Hitler Youth looking cop was just like fucking arresting him. I was like, this is how is this not in any way, shape, or form like optically not the best idea? Like, is nobody looking around and being like, wait a minute, this is weird? Like what we're doing here?
It's sort of like, I don't know, it's a double hitter for them, That's a German grand slam
Yeah.
when you get to do that one.
Yeah, they get to do what they do best.
Yeah.
What they really like to do.
I wasn't afraid of like getting dinged for stuff I've said on Twitter when in 2019 when I was there. Now I'm like, could I even like go there now?
Yeah, no, they literally they denied like the Palestinian doctor who was slated to speak at a conference, in an anti-Zionism conference. They denied him entry into the country.
Oh no, I think like it's if you were a Palestinian who has even like said like I think the killing is bad, they're booting you out, obviously.
Oh yeah, this one was insane.
Yeah, this is fucking crazy. This is such fucking Gestapo shit.
Yeah. Look at Helga like just sprinting into action. He's juking him too.
Oh, he's owning.
Yeah.
Helga wants to throw him into a fondue pot.
Yeah. Thank God, guys. You guys are doing a great job.
They're playing like Call of Duty music for arresting a 6-year-old.
It's the Cuds News Network.
Okay.
They're
They do like music. I thought the Germans added it. My apologies.
It's crazy. These pigs must be suspended. They're gonna get a promotion.
They are literally gonna get a promotion named after like a guy, a Nazi,
Yeah.
a former Nazi who was part of West Germany's government.
Yeah. Didn't they ban Varoufakis from Germany? Yeah, it's insane
On the front
out there.
foot, striking across Lebanon from the air at will. This, the Hezbollah stronghold of Dahia this afternoon. We're in the southern city of Tyre. Our movements constrained by Hezbollah, who accompany us wherever we film. We visit a residential block, now reduced to rubble.
This is the aftermath of an Israeli strike that hit over the weekend. You can see the huge level of destruction that it's caused. We're told that practically everyone had already fled the area before the strike, but that several people were killed.
At a nearby hospital.
What? I enjoy the German representation, but the Germany slander hurts my feelings. Confusing times. Also, the Iran missile strike led to some celebrations among protesters in Berlin yesterday. You can expect the general public to not be chill about it. Yeah, they were like, only we get to strike Israel.
Yeah.
Just you fucking wait. We heard there were a lot of Jews over there in Israel. Only we get to hit them.
If Israel asked, I think Germany would like nuke Bavaria, nuke themselves. If you're German and your feelings are hurt, I'm sorry. Just make it so I can go there again, and they aren't like, did you post this? Because I'm afraid of that happening. I don't know what I fucking posted. I post a lot.
We're taken to meet injured patients. 9-year-old Mariam was wounded in an airstrike on her family's home.
They hit us with force. The entire roof fell on me.
You must have been very scared when it happened.
Yes, I was scared. I just want the war to stop and for everyone to stay safe.
Doctors here are braced for the situation to deteriorate further. Public anger.
Oh, another American citizen has been killed, this time in Lebanon. A resident from Dearborn, Michigan has been killed in Lebanon. The American government said on Wednesday, with the man's friend and neighbor said he died in an Israeli airstrike. We are deeply saddened by the death of Kamal Ahmad Jawad, and our hearts go out to his family and friends. His death is a tragedy, as are the many deaths of many civilians in Lebanon, a White House spokesperson said. Yeah, I'm sure they're really sad. Definitely. Oh. Yeah, they're so sad. That's why they're giving more weapons to Israel to do it. Dearborn, huh? Interesting coincidence. Why was he hanging out with Hezbollah terrorists? A lot of Americans with Israeli flags in the bios are celebrating this for some reason. From Dearborn. Okay. Can I ask what you think is the best realistic outcome for this conflict right now? The Israeli economy and Israeli society collapses in and of itself, and that it goes the way of apartheid South Africa, and the apartheid is abolished in its entirety. That is probably what will inevitably happen. There is no way. The contradictions are far too obvious, and this entire process will crumble. It will. The issue is the final stages of it will always be the deadliest, and we're experiencing it right now. That's it. How many decades? No, not decades. Not decades at all. That Lord shit is not real, man. What is wrong with you? Lord did not get beat up by fucking Zionist protesters at a Palestinian rally. That's not real. The translator of that segment was wilding. She specifically said an airstrike, which they changed it to hit with force. And then she said how the roof collapsed on her head and they changed it to I want this war to end. Wait, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What's the final answer? I don't know what the timeline is.
Is directed at Israel. I was watching TV with my son and my sister. Suddenly we were hit and she was killed, this man says. They know no mercy. Much of Tyre, much of southern Lebanon has seen its inhabitants flee north. But not everyone has gone.
Why did you decide to stay here?
Because my father and my mother lives all their life in here, so they can't go because they, they will love to stay here. So we decided to stay here.
It's so crazy to be like, why don't you guys just like leave your houses? Because Israel's just gonna bomb it anyway. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy thing to just like ask of people.
Imagine being given like 48 hours notice, usually less, usually just a few hours, if that. Hey, your entire life, just pack up and go. Not anywhere specific, just north.
Yeah,
just go fucking north. Keep walking
with no indication that Israel won't bomb it inevitably.
Yeah, what fucking reason do they have to believe that there's any safe zone?
They watched hundreds of thousands of people from southern Lebanon go to Beirut, and then those people died in Beirut. Okay? The idea that this is like, oh, just like there's a safe area. They also, before that, for the past 12 months, have watched the Gazan population go through this exact same fucking dog and pony show. Yeah.
People in Gaza very quickly learned that the designated safe zones of the Israeli military were, in fact, just,
places
killing,
just killing fields.
Killing fields.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm struggling to provide things for my family, her father adds. Everyone here and across this region is braced for further violence.
Well, with me now is HasanAbi, a Lebanese MP and the country's former Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Speaker of Parliament. What do you think is in store for your country over the coming days?
Well, let's hope things will end very soon, but there's a huge amount of uncertainty right now with all the events taking place in the south and in the suburbs of Beirut, in the Piker Valley. There's a really unprecedented level of confrontations between the Israeli armed forces and Hezbollah on Lebanese territory.
Do you support that resistance that Hezbollah is trying to push out?
No.
Bro, you're trying to get him assassinated.
Yeah,
like,
Jesus,
I don't even know his like personal, because like there's plenty of fucking Lebanese parliament members who hate Hezbollah, right? Like he could just as easily be asking that to a guy like that. I don't know what this dude's background is, but even if he was like in allegiance, right? Why would he ever fucking answer like that when Israel is assassinating every single fucking person that they feel, that they feel the need to assassinate? He might also just as easily be a fucking psycho right-wing Christian Lebanese parliament member.
From our point of view, from our national political point of view, we have always warned about the existence of a non-state actor.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, he is the second thing. Yeah,
controlling their own decisions outside the state, outside Hezbollah, outside the will of the Lebanese sovereign state and government, taking risks with people's lives, with Lebanon's future, in immersing Lebanon into regional wars, and we're seeing now the results of such a situation.
Yeah, Israel famously would never actually invade Lebanon if it wasn't for Hezbollah's existence. Except if Chad is right and he's like some fucking right-wing Christian weirdo in the Lebanese parliament, like he wants Israel to invade so they can collaborate and Israel can set him up as like, the puppet administration.
Situation that has been left undealt with for so many years.
So do you feel they have led you down a dark corner?
Well, unfortunately,
But by the way, this is what I meant. Channel 4, after like a couple months into Israel's like relentless bombing campaign of Gaza, started actually providing like decent coverage from the perspective of like the Palestinian citizens that were being slaughtered. But they also got hit with the reset button. So now they're back to doing like, well, you know, Hezbollah is the reason why Israel has to invade, to liberate Lebanon from Hezbollah.
Right,
Like
yeah.
they're doing the same fucking shit.
And every major network, there's like a certain amount of people have to die before they will actually provide worthwhile coverage. For Channel 4's, it might be a little bit lower than, say, BBC's.
Many times against this situation, and we have actually been, Lebanon has been dragged into a regional conflict that Lebanon could have avoided being in such a situation, yet it was, in my view, an uncalculated step from Hezbollah that effectively is now hurting all the Lebanese people economically, physically, militarily, and in their own safety.
Yeah, one must always ask the question like, so Vladimir Putin was right because he wanted to liberate Ukraine from the throes of like the Azov battalion and the Nazis? Like, how does that work? How was his special military operation immediately and directly falsifiable, the easiest thing to fucking joke about and cast aside as bullshit? But Israel happens to do that all the time, everywhere, and it's always somehow just. It's interesting. I don't know. A shocking situation.
Right, like the idea that like Israel is doing a sort of like slow drip nation building attempt in Lebanon over the last several years, that's what's going on is just, I mean, you first of all, like, no Israeli believes that.
Yeah, they're literally talking about they want to build a nation in Lebanon, just more Israel.
Right,
okay?
right. They're right. Like, no Israeli would tell you their goal is like we're taking corruption out of Lebanese politics.
Yeah,
we're gonna fix their institutions. But it takes a certain type of delusion from a non-Israeli, especially, to think that.
Is the rest of the country powerless now? I mean, are you just a pawn in a bigger game between Tehran and the Ayatollahs and Netanyahu and the Israeli government?
Yes, unfortunately, Lebanon is now paralyzed. Let's not forget that Lebanon was already in an economic crisis. There's no president leading the country. It was already paralyzed, and now it's even further paralyzed in this regional conflict.
What do you expect Israel to do? As it weighs its response?
Well, what we're seeing now is a potential regional escalation as Israel weighs its response to Iran. Israel continues to bombard Hezbollah in Lebanon, and we are seeing scenes even more aggressive than what we have seen in 2006, that at the time resulted in a UN Security Council resolution to stop the fighting and remove the arms of all armed non-official and non-sovereign armed forces from Lebanon.
What kind of foreign pressure is the Lebanese government under when it comes to how it uses the armed forces? I mean, are they really Lebanese armed forces?
Well, we do have Lebanese armed forces who are tasked with the sovereignty and the protection of the sovereignty of Lebanon. However,
as long as Israel doesn't have territorial ambitions, which is precisely the reason why they moved past the southern Lebanese territories, which now Israel is moving into, you know, we have an increasingly shrinking territory of sovereignty here in Lebanon, and Israel sets that standard. It is what it is. Not much we can do about it. That's not our job, you know. That's cool. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand how you can behave like this. Like, political disagreements and like the brutality or whatever the fuck you're gonna point to aside, how the fuck do you, like, is it not the same, if not infinitely worse? I mean, not even the same, but significantly worse brutality that Israel is subjecting your people to?
Well, yeah, it's
like your children.
The way that he characterizes it is like Hezbollah just even existing is robbing us of our favorite word, agency. It's robbing us of sovereignty. It's robbing us of, our ability to make our own decisions. But Israel, as an expansionist force, that is practically a force of nature. That is not human beings making a decision to colonize and terraform the world for a greater Israel. It is just a act of God, a force of nature that happens, and you either provoke it or incur its wrath, or you just sort of let it do whatever, and hopefully it recognizes this.
Yeah,
it's an insane stance to put yourself in.
When Hezbollah made the decision to enter a war, they did not request the permission of anyone. They did not look at the sovereign state and deal with them as a sovereign decision maker when it comes to war and peace. The Lebanese armed forces are in a situation now where they can see the country has been dragged into a war that they were not party to, the government was not party to, the Lebanese people were not party to such a decision.
So what's your message to Benjamin Netanyahu?
Well, I cannot...
If the American security cooperation with Lebanon was actually a real security cooperation, they would let them have anti-air missile systems. Why doesn't Lebanon have anti-air missile systems? Why? Why don't they have an Iron Dome?
Patriot missile system machine broken.
Yeah. What happened?
Come back next week.
What happened? Why is this security cooperation with Lebanon significantly neutered in comparison to our security cooperation with Israel, for example? I'm just saying it's just a weird situation. How come the Lebanese people, with their security cooperation from the United States, don't have anti-air missile systems? Is it perhaps because if they did have those, then they would use them against Israeli fighter jets on their way to fucking Beirut that want to bomb entire city blocks? Is that perhaps the reason why America won't let them have it? Don't roast me. They have money for it. The U.S. should pay for it. No, dog, they literally set the terms. Like, that's the whole point. They don't have it because if they did have it, then Israeli F-15s would get fucking lasered with American anti-aircraft capabilities. Like, why would they not have it? How can they have any sort of sovereignty?
I mean, yeah, air defense is like any serious defense cooperation that is one of the single most vital parts of modern warfare is defending the skies. I don't think that's a controversial statement. This is a cooperative security agreement that you would ink in 1903 when there were before even barrage balloons. Yeah,
it's crazy.
This war continuing, we should all work towards the implementation of 1701 on all sides. 1701 is the UN resolution that in 2006 ended the war, called for the withdrawal of...
Yeah, Pat Bev, nobody cares. Nobody. Your teammates were hoping that you wouldn't run to the bomb shelter.
I love the idea that Iran was like, okay, just spare no missile. We have to take out Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
100. I don't care how much it costs. We need to... What's the main goal here?
181 rockets were actually launched. Nobody knew. Everybody thought it was 180. The last one for Pat Bev.
We're disbanding the fucking country if we don't get Pat Bev.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was doing the fake news. They're like, oh, Yoav Golan has been assassinated. No, it was Pat Bev. Defense Minister Pat Bev.
Of all armed forces that are not Lebanese army from the south of Lebanon to the north of the Litani River, around 30 kilometers from the Israeli borders, deployment of UNIFIL and the Lebanese sovereign armed forces, and the removal of weapons from the hands of all militias in Lebanon.
Mr. Hasbani, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has said the country is in the midst of a tough war against Iran's axis of evil, which seeks to destroy us. But he insisted we will win together. Israel's military chief also warned that the country would respond to Iran's missile attack and said...
How do you think they're going to respond to Iran? Do you think it's going to be like last time?
Probably like, yeah, military depots, oil facilities, I presume. Though, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to like do any type of like halfway rational actor thing with Israel. But I don't know. There is the possibility that like they are kind of fucking. They realize that like they actually do have this capability now. That like Iran sending all those loitering munitions and very slow moving subsonic surface to surface cruise missiles back in spring may have been kind of a feint. And like, I mean, it is worth noting that like Netanyahu was kind of afraid of like having hitting Iran back very hardly after that. Of course, they've done fucking insane things since then.
Yeah. Well,
but like Benny Gantz was way more hawkish on that front. And for as stupid and self-destructive and how unplanned all of this is, on a basic level, you do kind of have to think that they are like a little shook, right? But it's just, how the fuck do you get into their head? When there's no semblance of a plan. They have no idea what their off ramp would be, short of killing fucking everyone. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I assume it's gonna be like I don't think they'll hit the oil refineries. Iran's immediate response was, if Israel hits our oil refineries, that they'll light the entire region's oil refineries on fire and put the entire world to a halt. That's what they said. I don't know. That's like their nuclear option.
I wonder
that
if
his forces could
not necessarily like, I don't know, like a thermonuclear weapon, but like I wonder if they have like something now.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder. I don't know.
I mean, look, the way I see it is this. Okay, if they have the capability of striking 3 military targets, I guess the Mossad headquarters they didn't really hit, right, but near it in Tel Aviv, and also the 2 military bases. They said that they were going to hit those targets, and they did, which means that they have the capability of hitting Tel Aviv if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have that targeting capacity, and if they have the munitions to be able to do it, and they still haven't done it, that means it's restraint. Unless the idea somehow is that, like, I don't know, they're just like too afraid of Israel, or Israel actually intercepted those missiles and like moved them towards the fucking military targets that they said they were gonna hit. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
Zachary Levi as Shazam went up midair, and all these missiles were heading straight towards civilian centers, straight towards all the nightclubs called Reimagine, and he pushed them to hit all these military targets.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It's telling everyone that understands this process that they have the capacity to penetrate Israel's defenses. Okay, that's what they're saying. They're showing that, like they're demonstrating their capabilities. If you don't understand and learn a lesson from that, I don't know what to tell you. Like they could have this time around easily fucking struck Tel Aviv and killed civilians. Right? They didn't, and then Israel like flexed as though it was as though it was just like, oh, they're so bad.
Well, they did the typical Israeli thing of like,
they didn't even kill a single civilian. The only civilian that died was a Palestinian. It doesn't matter. We hate those guys.
They did the typical Israeli thing of like, this is not, they literally said, this is not normal.
Yeah.
This is our life right now. Also, they didn't do anything. It doesn't matter. And fucking life goes on and blah, blah, blah. They're cowards. They can't even kill as many civilians as we do. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I supposedly Iran did not even. They have missiles with guidance after reentry that are even faster than what they sent, which is fucking incredible considering the reentry speeds of some of these.
Yeah. Breaking: Israel before and after the Iranian bombing, perhaps showing that Iran doesn't indiscriminately target apartment buildings, hospitals, schools, temples, and beaches isn't the sick burn you think it is. Yeah. It's just so weird that they're bragging about it and they're making fun of it. They're like, yeah, oh, these fucking idiots didn't even kill a single civilian. Like,
yeah, it's basically like if they put something out where they're like, you know, they haven't even molested a single prisoner of war.
Yeah. Unlike
they'll
us.
never catch up with us.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Could strike anywhere in the Middle East. Our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, is in Jerusalem. Alex.
Yes, well, for some days, as you might expect, Israel's political leaders preparing their people for the simple and obvious fact: if you invade somebody else's country, you're going to get hurt. And so...
Yeah, keep defending terrorist organizations. Hamas, Hezbollah, literally cutting heads off, killings for fun, for religious reasons. Then keep hiding behind those same people that they fucked over. Good job, Israel, for dealing with these Muslim fucks. I like that so much of Israeli foreign policy can be traced to like the dumbest guy just repeating like post 9/11 Muslim, like anti-Muslim propaganda. Like he's one step removed from being like, yeah, y'all keep having sex with those goats, dude. That's why Israel's killing all of y'all. Like,
keep praying to Allah, the moon god.
Yeah.
I love, this is a very post 9/11 thing of like just thinking like beheading is, every Muslim does it.
Yeah.
It's every Muslim's favorite thing is beheading.
Yeah, that's like, everyone's always doing that. They love doing beheadings. You watch fucking one like live leak video of like some fucking ISIS weirdo do a beheading, and all of a sudden you're like, every Muslim loves beheading.
And
like,
ISIS weirdo is probably born in fucking London too.
Yeah. ISIS weirdo born in London, maybe got some CIA training. Who knows? I don't know. That's where they taught him. They taught him the beheading at the beheading course at the CIA.
God, this is taking me back so much. Do you remember like the Nick Berg frame by frame analysis that used to go on the internet in like 2000?
Oh,
what is that? Like 2004, 2005?
Yeah. Not so fun fact. ISIS helped Israel. Maybe they taught them how to do the beheadings. Actually, it might have been Mossad. My bad. I said CIA, but yeah.
I need to. I wish Rotten Library was still up.
No, God.
No, not Rotten.com, but like Rotten Library was totally different. It didn't have like shock images or anything like that, but it was like a Wikipedia for like conspiracies that range from like 60 to 100% true. It was a very foundational text for me as a young man.
What was 68% true?
Yeah, it was conspiracy theories that range from 60% true to like 100% true.
Uh-huh.
And it was like very well written and had a very distinctive writing style to it. And it's archived. I know someone archived it, and I have it like bookmarked somewhere. But it, for whatever fucking reason, it was a part of Rotten.com, the shock site. But it was, completely different.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very cool, and not a lot of people read it.
Yeah. Also, this is another really funny take on this. Is like, excuse me, my preferred method of execution is shoving an electrocuted cattle prod up the ass of someone and raping them to death. It is significantly better than what you're suspecting Hezbollah and Hamas is doing.
Shooting a Hellfire missile that's packed with blades at a group of preschoolers.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, that's how you do it, baby. Yeah, good job, Israel. Show those Muslim babies what's what.
Dropping white phosphorus on residential neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It is proving, obviously. A little after 6 o'clock local time, the Israeli Defense Force released the composite of photographs, which I think you can see now. 8 soldiers listed as killed. Now, I can tell you some details on that. 6 were from the Irgoz Commando Unit, killed in a gun battle with Hezbollah fighters in a southern Lebanese village. 5 more were wounded in that contact. 2 other soldiers from the Golani Reconnaissance Unit killed in a separate attack, and 1 more soldier from that incident listed as seriously injured. On top of that, of course, a captain who was also listed killed in action earlier. But of course,
the captain is the one with the braces, Chad.
It's events across the country dominated by 2 things. First of all, the gunman attacking and killing civilians roughly half an hour before the attack from Iran last night.
I have a really good idea for these guys, okay? Don't invade Lebanon. Here's a really cool way to not get fucking killed, okay? You have a wonderful, shitty techno career ahead of you, okay? Don't do it. Don't invade Lebanon. Do not invade Lebanon. Stay home. Say, I'm a conscientious objector, okay? You can literally go back, eat the fucking most dog shit chocolate hummus you've ever had.
That weird corn breakfast that you guys like?
Yeah. Oh God, the Israeli breakfast.
The corn breakfast? You can have that every day.
Oh, I miss it so much. My Israeli breakfast, and it's like the most like British ass fucking thing you've ever seen.
It was so weird. It was a plate of corn, the most like discolored tomatoes and cucumbers ever, and then a grayish cup of what looked like what's that yogurt drink?
Ayran.
Yeah, like that. And they were like, "Oh my God, you can't get this anywhere else."
Yeah, only in Israel.
Yeah.
A third of Israelis don't serve and get exemptions for mental health and religious reasons. You don't have to object. Just say you're Orthodox and stay home. No, they're fucking drafting the Haredis too now.
That's gonna go awesome.
Yeah,
that is really.
Dude, they already have a pretty high like friendly fire. They already have a pretty high friendly fire rating. Like that shit's about to skyrocket, dude.
Oh my God, are Haredis gonna accidentally take down
the Israeli military? Yeah.
Just not even for ideological reasons. Just like they're like, you don't fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah, I will never forget that. Like, dudes that just like the sniper piece of shit assassin did not incur that killed Shireen Abu Akleh, sniped her, okay, assassinated her, did not incur the same penalties that like a bunch of Jewish IDF soldiers got for making hot dogs on Saturday because it fucking didn't keep kosher. Like that sounds like something that a groiper would make up.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that someone would be like, "Oh, dude, these guys are crazy." And it's like, nah, that's a haaretz.com article. Like that's literally a thing that happened.
In 2013, if somebody in one of my group DMs said that, I'd be like, "Take a lap, bud."
Yeah.
You know, okay. Work on a better one.
Yeah.
No, that really happened.
Yeah, literally. It's just insane. It's so crazy.
You have to be a really evil country to imprison the hot dog makers of this world.
Yeah. That's how strict they are, though. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes all the things about them being like a socially liberal paradise fucking hilarious for anyone that knows anything at all about the codifications of these things in Israeli law.
And then, of course, that 181 missiles fired into the country. It's fair enough to say, not exactly controversy, but debate growing about whether the claims of Israel, the United States, and to some degree the UK about the impregnability of Israel's missile defense and their missile defense systems against Iran really is as strong as has been made out in some quarters.
This guy's a homie.
That's a crazy thing to say on British media.
No,
it's true.
Well, like some of the reporters that make like Kirby squirm the most are like, you know, I would say what, like 7 times out of 10 it's a British guy.
Yeah, it's like old school NatSec reporters that like write for these like random publications.
Yeah, when you see a British reporter that's like this old, there's a good chance that they are like a, you know, like someone from the fuck, what was that show called? The original British House of Cards. Like a psycho, completely transactional, cynical, old Tory lunatic. But then there's also a decent chance that they're just a truth teller.
Yeah.
Verified images show Iranian missiles detonating near Israel's Never Team.
This is in reverse, dude. Yo, anti-Semitic propaganda. Cut it out. Those are Tamir interceptors in reverse, dog. Trust.
Yeah.
They famously also do this explosion thing when they're being deployed.
Well, that's how big their first booster stage is.
Yeah.
And they actually slowed it down. They're way faster than this, too.
Yeah.
Airbase. And other verified video now appears to show more missile strikes. Only late this afternoon did the Israeli Air Force say several of its bases were hit without casualties, they added.
An Israeli civilian who's he's like me, and he just thinks weapon systems are cool. And everyone was freaking out.
You mean an autistic Israeli?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone was freaking out, and he's like, "This is so fucking cool."
They get drafted for 8,200.
Yeah.
Isn't there wait, dude? This is also another funny thing. There's a autistic brigade in Israel.
Oh yeah.
They work on maps. Yep. Yeah. The Israeli army unit that recruits teens with autism. Many autistic soldiers who would otherwise be exempt from the military service have found a place in Unit 9900, the Selective Intelligence Squad, where their heightened perceptual skills are an asset.
It would be funny if they make this unit just with the autism speaks type understanding, where it's okay, if you just train them to hyper focus on something, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
But it's just the type of people that know every single storyline from Supernatural. Like that. They're just like that. Useless for military purposes.
No, this is not a Nick Mullen bit, chat. This is a real thing that the Atlantic wrote about a real brigade. The Atlantic also, editor-in-chief is
former Israeli prison guard.
Former concentration camp guard from Israel.
Yeah. Wrote in glowing terms about becoming a man by working as a fucking concentration camp guard.
Yeah.
Jerusalem last night. Most incoming missiles, it seems, were intercepted, but the impression of near invincibility peddled by Israel, US and UK too isn't quite the full picture.
Peddled?
Yeah, this guy's a homie.
I don't want to show this. Sorry.
Cruel irony. The only person confirmed killed by Iran's action, this Palestinian man, struck seconds after these images by a falling missile.
Oh, never mind. They don't show it.
By day, the even deeper irony, the dead man Samir al-Asali was from Gaza. Just north of Tel Aviv, a missile crater already filled in this morning. A yellow ribbon for the return of the hostages, and now a coating of blasted earth.
The yellow
all of this
ribbon,
close,
by the way,
very
that's
close
the
to
support the troops ribbon. You guys have to give that back. That's American.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, isn't support the troops in America? That's a yellow ribbon.
Sorry, sweetie. Since October 7, every time I see the yellow ribbon, I know exactly what it is. Okay, someone who wants to kill as many hostages as possible with American weapons that we sent over there to use on top of Palestinian homes.
Bring the hostages back in installments.
Yeah, that's what it means to me. I see the yellow ribbon, which fucking Mr. Maoist Van Jones wears all the time. By the way, every time I see that, I'm like, oh, you just want to kill the hostages. Got it. Okay.
Bezos gave him $100 million. He was like, this guy is so smart. I'm going to do the Mr. Beast challenge and gift my favorite streamer $100 million fucking dollars.
Yeah.
He thought Van Jones was so sick.
What did he do with it? Do we know?
He's going to make a think tank that's dedicated to depolarization. One of those things. It would be funny if he just spent it on like cars and like houses.
That'd be baller.
That would be awesome.
I would actually respect him a lot more if he did that. I'd be like, fuck you. It's my $100 million, bitch.
If he was like, okay, fuck this politics shit.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Just fucking quit. You got $100 million. Maybe that's why Jeff Bezos gave it to him. He's like, dude, please just shut the fuck up. Just stop, dude. You're
sick
so
of seeing him
whack.
cry on TV.
Yeah. Oh my God. After Joe Biden dropped out?
Yeah.
Yes. It's one of my favorite Van Jones moments.
Well, Van Jones has cried on TV a lot. He's a very famous crier of the airwaves.
Yeah. That's why. That Jeff Bezos gave him that. He was like, shut up, you fucking baby.
Yeah. It's
You're
like
done.
those people who like have Patreon tiers that are like, for $7,000, I'll stop.
To major security installations, this military base, and a Mossad Secret Service headquarters. A few miles distant, they were still dousing the fire started by another missile strike last night.
Everybody went into shelters, but pretty soon we started getting reports of firstly of shrapnel and then explosions and then hits.
This guy looks like an Israeli Kyle
An empty
Chandler.
house destroyed in a park. Gaza, it is not. But 181 Iranian missiles means Israel is talking, at least, of imminent revenge.
The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described that action from Iran as a big mistake, but as yet, no further.
It's kind of funny that he's standing right in front of the firefighter. I don't know. That's like an aesthetic choice that he made that I really like. He could just get hit with the fucking power washer on accident. Yeah.
Action from Israel, and no further missiles, for that matter, coming in overnight from Iran.
A former Air Force commander who has personally bombed Iraqi nuclear sites says Israel will retaliate. But that all came with a very clear warning to his own people.
We can inflict a lot of damage on Iran, but there would be repercussions and a cascading effect. Remember that we have the Russians.
Wait, was he bombing Iraq with the Israeli military or the American one? He said Iran, bro. That's like Iran is not even like, I don't think Israelis even say Iran.
No, this guy has blue eyes. This guy is from like Barrington, Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, I won Israeli citizenship in a lottery. I'll be darned.
He said Iran, bro.
Iran?
I've never heard an Israeli say Iran. That's crazy.
Who have teamed up with Iranians lately because of the war in the Ukraine, and the Russians are just next door in Syria. We don't want this cascading effect.
His accent is so
Jaffa,
weird.
along the coast.
Sort of Midwestern.
It's a cursed nation, dude. Like,
it creates the worst accents ever heard.
Yeah. It's like, is it French? What's going on? Are you like?
It's like a Ukrainian who like spent his weekends in Chicago growing up.
It's like an international student. You know what I mean? Like a kid that like went to school in Switzerland or something, and his accent is so busted because he's surrounded by all of these different like nationalities and their fucking weird accents.
Yeah, his accent and like word choices are like partially jug hooter, but then like very Israeli.
Yeah.
Grieving for 7 people shot.
It's so funny how they say the Ukraine. No, that was the OG way of saying Ukraine because it means the border. Isn't that what it is? Like that's why old school people will always refer to Ukraine as the Ukraine, which is again another like kind of American thing, I think, to say. What like old heads always say the Ukraine.
I've heard Judge Joe Brown refer to it only that way.
Yeah,
one of my favorite follows.
It's like a microaggression against Ukrainians. Yeah.
Dead, 11 injured, 6 critically. It happened about half an hour before the Iranian missile salvo last night. Tonight, Hamas said they did it. Few eyewitnesses will speak openly.
Israelis wear the stupidest t-shirts I've ever seen.
You know, they ran away and came here. We did what we could. We bandaged his leg. He was shot in the leg. His whole leg was injured. The whole shop was blood yesterday.
2 Palestinians from the West Bank, Mohammed Rahman and Hasan Tamimi, visited this mosque, then stabbed a policeman, stole his gun, and opened fire at the tram stop over the road on Jerusalem Boulevard.
Wait, that dude did it with a cop's
Killing
gun?
7 times more people
He took it straight
than
from a
all
cop.
of Iran's
That's crazy.
missiles.
Bro, those guys train our cops. What the fuck? Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was a fucking service weapon, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, he fucking yanked it
Jesus
straight out of his
Christ,
hands
dude.
after stabbing him.
They were just waiting for a train, it says. And yet there were celebrations too last night.
Yeah, no shit.
Allahu
This is the funniest part when they're like, look at these people who are like literally experiencing genocide, having a moment of like happiness.
It's like if America actually like did bomb the tracks to the concentration camps, and you had people celebrating inside Dachau, and you were like real mature guys.
Yeah, like what the
people have
fuck
to
are
go
you
to work.
saying?
People
What
have to go to work on those trains.
What are you fucking saying at that point? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, no shit, they're celebrating, dude. If that shit was happening to you, you'd be celebrating. You'd be probably doing way worse shit than just celebrating in that moment. You know what I mean?
Akbar, God is great, they shout in Gaza, as attack and defense missiles light up the sky over Israel. And in the West Bank, Arabs delighted by the actions of Tehran.
They're not losing it, dude. I'm telling you. This channel used to have better coverage a few months ago. No, it's a reset. I promise you that's what it is. Wait till they hit an unacceptable number of casualties so that they can change their tune to being like, well, Israel was wrong in the Lebanese invasion as well. That's just how it works, man. I feel like there's just, these guys are just following process, you know?
Yeah, no. Every network has like a
He
number
didn't mean
of
my channel. Dumbass, he's talking about channel 4. The fuck? Yeah, he meant my channel.
Yeah.
He's like, back in the day, you used to serve 3-minute ad breaks at the top of the hour. You've forgotten, which I did, by the way. For the past 2 hours, I haven't served any fucking ass, so I'm doing it now. Are they not allowed to say Palestinians? Why did they say Arabs? Actually, I don't know. Maybe Channel 4 conducting additional military operations in the West Bank and also invading Lebanon. These are the actions of a country that doesn't want to invade other places.
We don't want a regional war. All we've done is assassinate the the negotiating party in the main war we're at.
Yeah,
one of the
on the sovereign nation's soil, the one country that we're like constantly worried about.
The head of the group that our side war, the head of that group, we've hit Yemen multiple fucking times this year, but we don't want a regional war.
It's just, bro, once you open 3 fronts, like what's the difference between 4 or 5? You know what I mean?
You know what? Like, just no one would expect it now. Attack Albania. Open a 4th front. Open it far away.
Yeah.
You can never have too much greater Israel.
I agree. They should overtake Albania.
Oh my God! You know what? You guys had some dealings with Argentina. What if you had the Falklands?
Yeah.
What if it was your territory?
I think it would be anti-Semitic not to give the Falklands to Israel.
100%.
Yeah.
The UK would probably just give it up at this point.
Yeah.
Like if they asked.
Oh, I did. Did you see this, by the way? Christian Amanpour had like a Lebanese Lebanese foreign minister, Abdullah Bo Habib, and he said that the Hezbollah leader agreed to a ceasefire right before Israel killed him.
I don't know if
Are you saying Hassan had agreed to a ceasefire?
Maybe.
Just moments before he was
I have trouble believing that.
He agreed. Yes. We agreed completely. Lebanon agreed to ceasefire, but consulting with the Hezbollah, the speaker, Mr. Berry, consulted with Hezbollah, and we informed the Americans and the French that what happened. And they told us that Mr. Netanyahu also agreed on the statement that was issued by both.
I don't know if I believe it, but
I mean,
they've
would
done that.
They would do that,
Yes.
absolutely. I just don't know. I've seen a lot of people, both who live in Lebanon and other nations in the area, strongly doubting this, though.
Yeah. He's talking about the 21-day proposal that Israel said they were for privately and then ignored when it was officially offered. I don't know.
I mean, like, would they do that? Absolutely, because they have done things exactly like that in the
Richard
past.
Goldberg, another FDD senior advisor, take out
the
Tehran
FDD
already.
is so fucking
Reunite
insane.
Khomeini with his friends. It's like, how is this a think tank, brother? How is this I feel like back in the day, these guys wouldn't, they would at least like try to masquerade under like some vague notion of like liberal defense of democracy. Why is it called defending democracy?
Yeah,
you can't say foundation for defense of democracies and then post this. It's undermining the whole reason why you made the fake name.
Well, it's like a vestigial organ for neocons.
Yeah.
The rationale for neoconservatism used to be, creating the optimal conditions for democracy to flourish in the world. That pretense is gone, but the name still remains. But yeah, no, I don't even know why they have to have the pretense of it being a think tank. They clearly just like want to kill as many people as possible. Why even publish papers?
Yeah, just fucking keep posting this shit because the outcome is the same. Take out Tehran already. Oh, and then he got yelled at. The regime in Tehran, in case is not obvious to everyone passing by due to pro-regime propagandists.
Yeah, no, there are think tanks that like have more purchase inside the NatSec blob, but just as far as like pure psychosis and like what would the actual effects on the world be if their plans were put into motion, FDD is the most psychotic think tank in Washington.
Well, now their positions are almost universally adopted by the Democratic Party, so we have that to look forward for the upcoming election and many other elections after.
It's so crazy too because it is like it's such an outmoded like zombie ideology, neoconservatism. But if George W. Bush were president right now, well, first of all, I don't think things would have actually gone this far. Not that he was good on Israel, but there was at least like some. In actuality, he drew more consequential red lines than Biden did.
He also he had the classic like, oh, we know better, we'll fix this mentality.
Yeah.
Even though it obviously was a demonstrable failure, like the elections and everything, there was at least an attempt of like trying to use like normal channels of diplomacy that inherently recognizes the humanity of the Palestinians and like some form of like government process for them, which Joe Biden has not even broached.
Right.
Like not even the only thing that Joe Biden says is just a vague gesturing towards a fucking two-state that he wants. He's like, oh, the Palestinians, they need a state sometimes, I think. Look alive.
Yeah, like what I was going to say is like if John Bolton were president right now, how would our policy with regards to Israel, how would it look different?
Yeah.
It would not. It would not look different at all.
It would be the exact same, 100%. Oh, the narrative is hating on Biden now, Rich.
What would Biden have to do for people like this to realize that this policy has been a fucking disaster? What would have to happen?
It's so funny because it's like electorally a disaster as well. Like if you're saying this, you're like pro Democratic Party, right?
Yeah.
You're blue anon, you're blue MAGA. Like you love the Democratic Party, you think they can do no wrong. And what's really wild about being a Biden dead ender at this point is that you're looking at the current carcass in office actively cooking the Democratic Party's chances of winning this election. And you're still like, wow, can't believe you're calling that out. Is what I would say if I was some fucking radical Islamist in the pocket of Hezbollah. I'm riding in Biden. You guys know me and Ryan Ruth. We are the NATO voters. We're riding in Biden. He can't ride in Biden because he's in jail, but I will be riding it for him. So I agree with you. I would never hate Biden, chatter. That's right. Free my man Ryan Ruth. He did nothing wrong.
The question is, what do you think is achievable? You know, is this a question of putting Iran back by 10 years or 20 years in terms of its ability to attack in the future? You know, is it this, you know, rather horrible phrase, mowing the lawn in Iran, the same way as Israel is perceived to be doing with Hamas and with Hezbollah? Is it essentially the same purpose?
This cannot be the same purpose. Iran is 2,000 kilometers away. Israel is, in fact, fighting for our lives after being attacked so brutally over and over again.
Yeah, it can't be the same purpose. Yeah, which is why we openly said that we assassinated Hassan Nasrallah because he wouldn't decouple Hezbollah from Gaza, which quite literally is the purpose. They admit it. Like, they admit it all the time. Yeah, that's the reason why they're doing it. That's the reason why Iran is doing it. Well, at least on paper.
This doesn't mean that Israel needs to today start and open a regional war. I don't think this is what we should expect, but we should expect what Israel should expect from the international community to understand this and also to join this effort, because Iran is not just Israel's problem.
Right, but in that case, what you seem to be talking about is fundamentally changing the dynamics of the Middle East. Isn't the fact that every time Israel has tried to do that, it has failed?
I wouldn't say that Israel has tried over and over again to do this and has failed. In fact, I think that Israel has tried other means of reaching agreements and diplomatic resolutions to our conflicts, and these actually have failed.
Can we talk about Gaza then for a moment? Because almost a year on, after October the 7th, more than 40,000 people killed in Gaza. Today, there are another 60 people dead, and Israel has still not defeated Hamas. I mean, where is the strategy there, and why is it going wrong?
Hamas capabilities have been eroded. Many of the casualties in Gaza are in fact Hamas operatives bearing arms,
like, you know
targeted.
What he's going to say to everything. This is the fucking stock answers to everything.
It's also boring. It's boring. Everybody says it on every outlet. Like, you've heard it a million times over.
We've all seen this. We've all seen, if not literally this guy, someone like him, some fucking crying, bald Ukrainian guy who says that all of Israel's failures in the past were they were just too nice. They were going about things too peacefully. That Hamas's capabilities have been eroded.
That's why they didn't have troops stationed around the Merkavas in a fucking dense urban combat zone.
Yeah,
because they were nice and not because they were scared.
That was them attempting for peace.
Yeah. Which, you know what was not nice though? Lobbing a grenade directly bypassing the trophy system of the Merkava.
Yeah,
that is not nice.
How are you really supposed to have peace talks when they're firing at the Merkavas?
What? I don't support Biden, just calling the hypocrisy.
What?
Wait, what? Yeah, right, Lamar. Y'all were all for him until the debate, but he's been like that for like...
this is like a stupid MAGA guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude. Where's my fucking hat, brother? Hold on. Let me show you what's what, dog. Hold on.
You don't know that you're dealing with a certified jug hooter.
Fuck you mean, brother? What do you mean? What the fuck? Yo, let me get my gun. Hold on.
Kaya just got so serious.
Fucking dumbass, dude. Talking about fucking riding with Biden. Brother, what do you mean? I'm a goddamn American patriot, you fucking son of a bitch. I just don't want my tax dollars to go to Israel. I want to bomb Mexico. We got goddamn cartel on the southern border, and we're out here giving all the money to Israel instead. Telling me about riding with Biden. Hell yeah.
And the fact that they are hiding underneath and among civilians.
With a rope toy for the last hour, and she just totally stopped.
Yeah, she's
when
I'm bored now.
Piker came out, when the hat went on, she was like, "All right, silly time's over."
Yeah, no, she's getting into. She's also doing method. She's getting into the. She's my hog dog. Yeah.
Oh, all right, back at it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I'm not objecting that. What I'm saying is the fact that Hamas is fighting Israel from within those civilian communities and not putting them in shelter. Hamas won't allow their civilians to go underground to take shelter. They would.
What are you saying?
What is who is this for? Who is this realistically for?
Hamas won't put the civilians in the fucking tunnel system is crazy. I think he's just saying that to bait them so they can like flood the tunnels.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, put them in the tunnels so we can flood them finally.
The terror tunnels that we are bombing, you should put your toddler in there because they're safe.
Yeah, that's definitely safe. The country that's deliberately bombing civilian areas because, because they can, they definitely won't bomb the terror tunnels, which they have been bombing.
What is the utility of having this guy on TV? What are you as, I guess you're getting like objectivity. You're making it seem like you're giving everyone a voice. But just this same fucking crying bald guy that we always see from the Israeli side, who always just says this ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's actually for out there.
Rather fire rockets at the Israeli communities from within those civilian population.
A year into Gaza.
Bro, what purpose does going to the tunnel serve? You just said you're gonna kill them anyway. Like, what the fuck? You just said they're firing rockets from civilian areas.
If you asked him about that, if you were like, what, why did you say that? Well, why did you say that? If you're just gonna bomb the tunnels, he would not be aware he said that a minute after the fact.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's saying. He's just like pure like C-grade Hezbollah autopilot.
They're just This is also part of the reason why they're so bad at propaganda, because they just like are so used to never being questioned at all.
Yeah.
So they're just like, what? What do you mean? What was the fucking one guy that like left the interview angry because they were like, are you saying that Israel has a right to have nukes because the Holocaust happened and they can nuke?
I forgot who that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's sort of analogous to their military. Just how like a military that has only done internal repression for, the last generation or so, they lose their ability, their combat ability is degraded in the face of actual resistance. 20, 30 years of zombie consensus in the West, where it is anti-Semitic to question these guys, has resulted in the dumbest fucking propagandists on earth, who now, in the face of resistance, in the face of any pushback at all, have crumbled and have assigned the blame to a Chinese spying operation.
No, look.
Tolerate you having nuclear weapons and not, say, Iran.
First, again, we never admitted to have such weapons, but
who are you fooling?
Yeah, we have never admitted to having such weapons.
maybe we don't.
We have no nukes. Do not look up the Samson option.
Jonathan Pollard just sent us recipes. He got in trouble.
Very anti-Semitic.
Comparison is, I must say, it's very insulting, and I tell you why. We suffered one Holocaust. We listened to our neighbors.
Is it because of the Holocaust that you should be allowed to have nuclear weapons?
You know what? This interview was finished now.
This is the propaganda guy.
They were like, we're sending our best guy. He isn't even bald. That's how good he is.
He said, no politics here. No politics. Israel, number one. No politics.
He said, first of all, what if we don't have them? Second of all, oh my fucking God.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. You can't wait. We gotta watch this again. It's so
one
good.
Holocaust. We listen to our neighbors.
Is it because of the Holocaust that you should be allowed to have nuclear weapons?
You know what? This interview was finished now. Your attitude is so hostile.
move.
Your questions are so arrogant. I don't want to
Is
speak
it the
with you
case
anymore.
that
Oh my God.
He said, we do not have nukes, but if we do, it's because of the Holocaust. And also, how dare you? How dare you repeat what I just said back to me? This interview is very fucked up.
I don't remember that spokesman. Judging by the video quality, that's what, like 2009?
I don't know.
Probably Operation Cast Lead era.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. Like the entitlement. I'm telling you, man, early October, like a big chunk of this resentment for Israel becoming a pariah state wasn't even like the violence against brown people, because the Western world is so conditioned to like, you know, agree with that sort of thing. It was the arrogance. It was the sheer entitlement and arrogance demonstrated by every Israeli propagandist that people were just like, what are you saying right now? Like, I wanted to support you, but holy fuck.
It's the Tip O'Neill truism about all politics, which is, you know, even if you think support is guaranteed, and it is, people like to be asked, and not asking, you know, just do it at your own risk.
Demanding, consistently demanding.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Where there are fewer forces, there are fewer Hamas fighters than there are Hezbollah fighters, and you are still fighting them. How soon do you think this war in Lebanon could be over?
Well, Israel has no intention to get into the entire Lebanon, or even the entire south of Lebanon, the way that we did in Gaza.
I mean, do you accept that ultimately resolution in Gaza is the only thing that can lead to a political settlement? And that while you can fight, ultimately the only
Let's see what the defending democracy guy says.
thing that brings peace is politics and talks. And so you are going to have to ultimately do a deal over the future of the Palestinians.
Israel did not open this war with Gaza. I truly believe that we need a resolution in Gaza. There are 101 hostages held by Hamas that I want released. And if proper security arrangements are made,
a state.
The audience must know that Israel has withdrawn completely from Gaza back in 2005 in the disengagement, and gave Gaza to the Palestinian Authority to rule. You know, the concept that we give them land and then they turn it into bases to attack.
We give them land? Bitch, it's their land. Like, what do you mean you gave? Also, you're American, I thought. I'm sorry. What do you mean we gave them land? You're literally working as an American at an American think tank. Interesting. It's just odd, you know. He is working for an American think tank in DC, talking about how we gave them land.
Attack Israel. This cannot be acceptable by the Israeli public or by the Israeli governance.
I mean, just finally,
bro, this is what I mean, bro. Put these motherfuckers in jail, bro. Every single person that works for the defense of the Israeli government is in direct violation on U.S. soil, direct violation of FARA. Okay? Straight up. I mean, jail also for obviously funding and facilitating war crimes and shit, but like, it's crazy. Motherfucker said we.
I mean, do you understand why people might be confused by the messaging coming out of Israel that says you do not want a regional war when you are currently fighting in Lebanon and Gaza and possibly Yemen and Syria? And now Iran is what is next promised. I mean, the fact is you are in a regional war.
Israel did not start any of those conflicts. Yes, indeed, we're fighting 7 fronts that were all imposed on us. And my hope is, and I think that all of the Israelis hope for the new year that starts today in Israel, the Jewish New Year that starts today, that the next year will not be a year of war. It will not be a year of fighting. They need to put their weapons down.
Ayal Hulata, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Well, for the whole region, last night's events felt seismic and pivotal. For the people of Gaza, the night played out as many have before under Israeli bombardment. The health ministry announced.
Like, remember, I told you after the third front, it's like Pringles. Okay, once you pop, you can't stop. It's like Pringles, chat. That's why he says 7. What's the difference? Like, he's like, we're going to war with Turkey. Those motherfuckers had it too good, okay? For too long. You feel me?
That 51 people were killed in Khan Yunis, and further north, more attacks on a school and orphanage where displaced people were sheltering. This is a special report filmed overnight in 2 neighborhoods with 1 hospital in Gaza City by our colleagues in Gaza, and I should warn you, there are distressing images from the start. It's just past 1:30 a.m. Paramedics are on the move again through Gaza City. Another emergency, another Israeli strike, this time at an orphanage where dozens of displaced families had been sheltering.
Bro, it's like a fucking meme, dude. Like, I don't know what to say. It's like comically evil, dude. Come on, an orphanage? That is fucking...
Wait, they tell the rescuers. Don't leave yet. There are more injured. 6 people were killed. Survivors say there was no warning, no siren, no protection.
We started getting all the bodies out. There were a lot of them. None are targets. All of them are children, women and children.
Nearby Muscat School had also become home to those with nowhere left to go. 25 of them were killed here just before 2 a.m. Mohammed Abu Leal was trapped by the blasts. He tells us there were 2 strikes, then the classrooms caved in.
We couldn't get out because of the dust. We couldn't breathe, and so we just closed our eyes until the ambulances arrived.
Before this woman's body can be stretchered out, a lengthy debate. How best to cover her up, to protect her dignity in death.
They hit a fucking orphanage and a school last night.
As
the drone attack,
the injured left for hospital. Those already there were reporting to relatives on the other end of the phone who in their families lived and who died.
Nawal and Mahdi are dead. My sister Iman is fine. Mohammed is fine. Only 3 of us were killed, and we are at Al Ali Hospital.
Inside, the Jundea family is in shock.
We were sleeping. We did manage to get our children out from under the rubble.
Her son, Hasan, is 6. Her youngest boy, Yusuf, just 5. Yusuf? He can't answer his uncle back or open his eyes. There are not enough beds for these children, not enough doctors to treat them.
My hands are torn from digging for my children. I don't know where the rest of my children are.
As Mohammed hovers over his 7-year-old girl, Dina, suddenly his son is brought in. It's Hasan. The relief of the reunion is short-lived. He's too worried about Yusuf.
What happened to Yusuf?
He's refusing to wake up. The doctors say he's fine, but he's refusing to wake up.
Yusuf is still unresponsive, but he does have a bed next door. Dina and Hasan had to give up theirs. Forced with their father into yet more limbo, tonight on the hard plastic seats of the waiting room. Well, a short time ago, President Biden declared America's full solidarity and support for Israel and discussed the rollout of new sanctions against Iran during a phone call with G7 leaders. Let's get...
That's a good that's a great segue into how the American administration is like dealing with these atrocities that Israel's committing with our weapons, by the way. Our guns, our bombs.
The just ending for Biden, and even this is just like a fraction of what he actually deserves, is like him losing the election. Everyone hates him. Hunter ODs the day before Trump's inauguration, and then Joe dies.
But he's gonna die anyway. Like he doesn't have like enough time. His mental faculties have already deteriorated. Like he's not gonna witness the full brunt of like shame.
The thing that really also sucks is Blinken, McGurk, Sullivan, all these fucking guys are gonna go on. They're either gonna go back to West Exec or some private equity firm. They'll become outstandingly rich. They'll be in the next Democratic administration. McGurk will probably be in the next fucking Republican one.
Yeah. They always have these guys, like they bring him back. I mean, it's totally uniparty when it comes to foreign policy. But yeah,
Matthew Miller will probably get a job with some NBC network.
Nancy Hasan is right about this, by the way. Yes, there's more outrage for Iranian strikes on Israeli military targets that didn't kill people than there has been over Israeli strikes on Palestinian civilian targets that killed over 50 people. Oh. What? Why did Hamas attack Israel on October 7th if they knew it would harm the chance for the Democrats to bring peace to the Middle East? Are they stupid?
I think he's joking.
Yeah, there's no. That's got to be a joke. Never made a joke in my life. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Fuck off.
Like, come on. We're watching like burned flesh of children caused by American weapons.
Get the latest from our Washington.
Like even if a kid survives something like this, like they're affected for fucking ever. All their relationships, just their ability to sleep at night in a bed, just everything is changed forever.
When you see that, you probably understand why they're celebrating when they see Iran light up the sky over Tel Aviv. Like, it's a pretty understandable position to have, in my opinion.
I mean, it's like what I always say is like, all of us are very lucky to not know what we would actually do if someone abducted our sons, our daughters, maybe our grandparents or our parents or someone. Sent them to an unaccountable underground sexual torture facility, or if our electricity was cut off, if someone died of a preventable disease during a blockade, if the building that we live in was destroyed by a quadcopter, if someone we knew was gunned down by one. We're all very lucky that we do not have to find out what we would do in that situation. At the very least, I'd hope that I'd have the courage to celebrate seeing ballistic missiles just getting one back for once.
Yeah.
And maybe have the courage to pick up a gun and fight back. I don't know that I would. I'm glad that I'll never have to find that out, probably.
When you people don't understand like where you have to be mentally to engage in like a suicide bomb attack, right? Like people don't comprehend that. The only way that you see that is in like the United States of America, where someone is like deeply mentally ill and then they like turn a gun to like random school children or whatever. Like, these are people with no other options whatsoever remaining for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they have nothing. They literally have nothing. They this is their only way out at that point. It doesn't stem from some like weird, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven and like I'm an extremist and I'm an anti-Semite, whatever the fuck like these idiotic Westerners present it as. That is no different than the conspiracy theories that you hear from right wingers about like how every other school shooting is a fucking psyop. Okay, when you should be treating that statement whenever someone goes, "Ooh, why would a Palestinian do such a thing? Why would they fucking rise up in arms against all of this death and destruction?" It must be because they're anti-Semitic. You should treat that as in the same vein as like a QAnon supporter. Okay, that's just what it is.
Yeah, it was a very popular thing too during the Second Intifada too, and also during the occupation of Iraq to mystify suicide bombings as exactly this religious extremism that we could not possibly understand. And I'm reminded of it was something that John Dolan and Mark Ames talked about on Radio Warner about how there's a study about suicide bombers,
like where they control the means. If death is an inevitability, at least I die by doing something where I find meaning in it, where I'm like fighting back in some way. That's it. That's the reality of the matter.
Imagine if your life was in such a way that was the only thing you had to look forward to.
Correspondent Siobhan Kennedy. Siobhan.
Well, that's right, Krishnan. Joe Biden called that meeting of the G7 this morning, I think, really to rally support for Israel, and I quote, to unequivocally condemn, the White House said, Iran's unacceptable attack yesterday. Joe Biden then spoke on the tarmac to reporters a little bit after that call. He said that the G7 leaders had all agreed that Israel had the right to respond to Iran's missiles. There is no sense, I think, that the US or the G7 want to be part of that response, but they do want to agree among themselves how far they think Israel should go and communicate that, give their advice to Prime Minister Netanyahu if he will listen. At one point, Joe Biden was asked whether or not he would support Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, and he said that he would not. Let's hear how President Biden put that earlier.
Why even run this? What is the value of this?
That means yes.
He said there's a red line on every other fucking thing in the world. Nothing happened. Why even fucking report on this?
No, that means he gave the okay.
Yeah, if he says a specific thing, that means yes.
That's the only way that I treat like Joe Biden pointers in the future. Like for future reference, if you want to know where Israel will go next, just see what Joe Biden said is a red line. Yeah, straight up. Like guarantee at this point.
The answer is no, and I think there's things. We'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all seven of us agree that they have a right to respond, but they should respond in proportion.
Biden did say that.
Oh, they all have a right. Israel has a right to respond. What about Iran? Did they have a right to respond when their territorial sovereignty was violated? No, they didn't.
Yeah, no. The way I've seen this characterized is just like, well, like that it was the knockout game, basically.
Yeah, they just did that randomly, out of nowhere, out of the blue. Well, they did that anti-Semitically.
That the US was planning more sanctions against Iran. It's already the most sanctioned country by the United States, and that's on top of fresh sanctions this morning against the Houthis.
That's the other thing. It's like these guys, like, oh no, Houthis won't be able to get the global trade that they benefit from.
Ansar Allah, you can no longer issue commercial paper through Goldman Sachs.
Like, damn, that's
good luck
crazy.
getting on the App Store, Ansar Allah.
That's crazy. Like, what? Oh no, Iran, more sanctions. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening at this point? Like, you think they haven't like geared their economy towards this sort of thing? I mean, you can still hurt them more, I guess.
And against settlers in the West Bank last night, Krishnan.
And Iran has been speaking.
That's my favorite, when they find like three Kahanas that are just straight up like that have literally killed like Israeli citizens too, as well as like Palestinians, and they're like, you three, you can no longer access your bank accounts. And then Israel's like, how dare you do this thing?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, okay, my bad. You can use your bank accounts. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it'll be the West Bank settlers that the Israeli government finds more annoying than useful. And even then, just on principle, they won't accept it.
Yeah, they'll be like, they did that, by the way. They were supposed to go after like one brigade, or they said that they were going to sanction settlers, and then they fucking turned around and were like, never mind, we're not going to do that. Actually, we lied.
Yeah, the Security Council, what did it say?
There are no red lines. Israel could nuke Lebanon. That would not be a red line. I'm not even kidding. I genuinely believe that there are no red lines.
Yeah, no.
None.
Well, there was an emergency meeting called inside the UN this morning. The Iranian ambassador to the UN spoke there. He criticized the United States, as you might expect, and Israel, and said that Iran's response yesterday was both necessary and proportionate. Let's hear how he put it.
Iran is fully prepared to take further defensive measures if necessary to protect its legitimate interests and defense its territorial integrity and sovereignty against any act of military aggressions and the illegal use of force. In this regard, Iran will have no hesitation.
So Biden today is very much trying to present, I think, a united front. Remember, he was only calling for a ceasefire 2 days ago. There is none of that talk now, just ironclad support for Israel.
Islamic fundamentalism existed even before the U.S. did, and attacks the sack of Baltimore in 1950s and the Barbary pirates attacking ships in the Mediterranean Sea.
The Barbary pirates?
The Barbary pirates were backed by the Ottomans and enslaved people from Europe and Central Africa. When asked why they did it, they said because Allah allows them. It is why the U.S. went to war with them twice in the 1800s.
This is a 71-year-old man. Well, sir, you have a UTI.
Dude.
Go to the hospital.
Dude, he said...
The Barbary pirates.
He said Islamic fundamentalism existed in the Ottoman era without like looking at European colonialism in the same era, which was unironically infinitely worse. Like, he's currently describing Ottoman enslavement at a time when chattel slavery existed, okay, in the United States of America, okay? What are you talking about, dude?
I haven't seen someone bring up the Barbary pirates since the Bush administration.
That's awesome.
This guy is.
He must have gotten it. He definitely got this one talking point specifically from like, I don't know, some fucking Reddit atheist or something. I don't know. This seems like
a conservative unk.
Yeah.
This is a very unk talking point.
Imagine when this guy learns about the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, just wait till he finds that out, dude. Yeah.
Thanks, Siobhan. Well, at the Security Council then, ambassadors for Iran and Israel accusing each other of representing terrorist states and threatening to launch further military action. Iran's missile attack against Israel is being seen as an attempt to consolidate its support in the Middle East, while its supreme leader said Western countries should get out of the region. Our international editor, Lindsay Hilson, has this.
The Revolutionary Guard Commander-in-Chief used somewhat retro technology to issue the command to fire, and then they prayed.
I saw the photos. They looked very happy. Did you see the photos of them watching?
They were having a great time.
They were.
So started Operation Truth Promise 2, as shown on Iranian TV. If only Israel didn't exist, said the Supreme Leader this morning.
If they remove their evil from this region...
I saw I'm about to get canceled on Twitter again for what? Like watching Channel 4? What the fuck? You can't be like, oh, he's watching terrorism propaganda. It's Channel 4. I mean, technically, it's the British government, so they are arch terrorists. So you're not wrong about that, both historically and even in contemporary society. They try to do their very best. But, like, come on.
Without a doubt, these conflicts, these wars, these clashes will disappear completely. The countries of the region can manage themselves, manage their region, live together in peace, health and well-being.
Oh, you're so bad. Hey, put
Regime
those flags
supporters
down.
were brought out to celebrate the
Cut
attack
it
on
out.
Israel.
Oh, I hate
But it's
this.
not clear that Iran has
Okay,
the
we're safe
military
now.
strength
Yeah.
to resist Israel's superior
Hey.
air power.
Oh, why don't
They're
you grow
waving
up? Hey,
pictures
put
of the
that picture down,
Hezbollah
pal.
leader killed by Israel
Stop
last
shaking
week.
your fist. You're gonna
But the
poke someone's
question
eye out.
now is whether Iran's nuclear
Go to bed, it's
facilities,
late.
buried deep underground,
Hey, get off
can
your phone,
withstand
pal.
Israeli attack. The major nuclear
No, I
sites
hate this.
Israel
Oh,
might
that
target
country? No.
are at
Ooh, I hate it.
Oh, look at it. Look at all those strike targets.
Iraq, Fordo, Natanz, Isfahan, and Bushehr, and subsidiary sites which are scattered across the country.
But obviously, Israel can cause serious damage, can degrade their command and control systems.
Non-Iranian. Yay!
No, this guy's awesome. He was cooking.
Can
I haven't seen
degrade
this guy.
their communication systems, and that in itself will have a severe impact. Also, because I do think that Israeli air power can act with a degree of control of the air or potentially air superiority over Iran for a particular period of time, and so they can take out targets as they see fit.
Supporters of Iranian-backed militia were on the streets of Baghdad last night. The Iraqi militia are part of Iran's axis of resistance, but Israel is putting
I hate
all
that.
axis members under pressure.
Oh. Yay?
Last week, they
Yeah, it was-
attacked the Yemeni port of Hodeidah, from where the Houthis have been firing at Western shipping and into Israel. And today, a target was hit, presumably by Israel, in the Syrian capital, Damascus.
I meant the explosion of
Until
Hezbollah.
now,
That was good.
Iran could get Hezbollah to fire across the border into Israel, potentially deterring Israeli attack on the Islamic Republic itself. But now Israel has killed its leaders. Hezbollah is in disarray.
Are we supposed to be happy?
Iran uses military parades to show off its arsenal. But its effectiveness is now open to question.
Terrible.
Some in Israel and the US
stop
see
driving
this as
that
a
truck.
moment of opportunity.
That's awesome. I mean, I hate that. I hate that
Terrible.
so much.
Don't do goatsy with the American flag.
Yeah,
How dare you?
no.
Goatsy was invented by an American. Get
If
out of
they-
here.
If they march over a Israeli and American flag, I'm going to be very disappointed.
No way. You don't even have a CDL license. Get out of that truck.
When they might topple the Iranian regime. But remaking the Middle East is a dangerous business, as America found out in Iraq. And Iranians who long for change might not see this as the way to bring it.
Even those who oppose the regime, even those who are not supportive of the line of the establishment, not necessarily see a war as a solution. And in fact, many would fear a war as a further destabilization factor, and one that you wouldn't know the implication and developments of in the end.
Last night, Iranians queued to fill up their cars with petrol. Some stocked up with food. They are in the eye of a storm, where all they can do is hunker down and hope it passes.
Well, joining me now from Washington is Ali Vyas, who is the Iran project director at the Wilson Center's International Crisis Group. Do you think Iran's supreme leader has miscalculated?
Well, it's very hard to say because he didn't really have any good options in front of him. His choices were basically not to respond, which would diminish this Iranian alliance system to one that could be described by all for one.
It's crazy that Nico Cata Avocado both lost all the weight and then became a crisis group think tank manager.
What can't he do?
Yeah, it's wild. Like, many people celebrated like his weight loss because, you know, everyone hates fat people, obviously, but nobody celebrated him becoming the guy.
Well, yeah, he was getting a PhD in international studies the entire time.
Yeah.
And one for none, basically meaning that none of Iran's allies could count on it, or to respond and risk a potentially devastating Israeli retaliation. But I think because option A of demonstration...
Something that no one ever talks about is how, like, Israel only backs down when they're forced to back down. If this is the only lesson you have taught to every country in the region, and you are relentlessly pummeling anyone and everyone in sight, like, what are people supposed to do? You literally killed the negotiator, dude. What? Like, there is no clearer indication that you are not interested in diplomacy at all than killing the principal negotiator.
Twice.
Yeah, and the only successful initiatives against Israel has always come when Israel Israel incurred too many penalties so that they could not maintain their offensive posture. It's just crazy. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna retaliate. What the fuck are they supposed to do? Israel literally does not stop.
Demonstrating restraint was pursued over the past 2 months, and in the Iranian view, it only made Israel more aggressive, signaling that Iran is in a position of weakness. The Iranians decided to take this action to change the dynamics.
What do you make of those people who are saying the Iranian missile attack last night was about restoring Iran's deterrent so that Israel does not get drawn into a full-scale war?
Look, I don't think the Iranians have any delusions that they can restore deterrence with Israel at this point. Israel, of course, is a much more superior military power backed by the world's #1 military superpower. And therefore, there is no way that Iran can outmatch Israel in any way, including in its willingness to go up the escalation ladder. I think what the Iranians wanted to do was to remind the United States that if it continues with this permissive attitude towards Israel, that what the Biden administration has tried very hard to avoid over the past 11, 12 months, which is a regional conflagration, might actually happen. And the Iranians have the willingness and the tolerance of risk to enter into the arena if the United States does not hold Israel back.
Are there any outside players now that do have significant influence over Iran? I mean, they said that they told the Russians about their impending attack. I mean, what would their role be in trying to prevent a full-scale war?
Look, the Russians have influence over Iran, but I think the Russians actually enjoy more instability in that part of the world that would drag the attention away from what's happening in Ukraine, especially that of the United States and the West. The Chinese are more worried because this is the area of the world they get 1/3 of their energy imports from. And the Chinese have influence over the Iranians, over the Saudis, the Emiratis, etc., but not necessarily over the Israelis. The only actor here who has influence over Israel is the United States, but the United States is also, with only 4 weeks to go before presidential elections, is almost politically paralyzed, and even when it was not, it wasn't really willing to exercise its influence over Israel. And so there is not a lot of hope that any outside actor could effectively stop this dynamic from ending in disaster.
Ali Vyas, thank you very much indeed for joining us from Washington.
All right, well, things seem to be going great. Felix, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, as always.
I'm tired.
I am too.